Duke.
We are live. Oh, don't say it now. I just hit the live button. Don't get him fired up.
We're going live. Whew, it scared me.
L-I-V-E live.
Are we live?
L-I-V-E. Are we live?
Well, I mean, my button says we are, but I mean, we'll know whenever we get the.
Well, hello, Facebook. I need to get a phone.
Don't say curse words.
Yeah, I got it.
Don't say curse words.
I got this.
Look, man, you guys are like Montana and Rice.
That's kind of Dwight Clark. I made him go up for that one. I didn't want Everson Walls to get it.
I didn't want him to get it either. I was worried.
One of the worst days of my life.
Like Facebook just did.
Oh, you
There's
are
a lot of
boy.
those as a Cowboys fan lately.
People are paying attention right now.
I'm
They are?
S-wording it.
Who is?
I'm dispersing it amongst my friends collectively.
Oh,
Okay.
How you like that?
Heard that one pretty well.
you took that in your eye.
1, 2.
8-3.
There we go. Oh, I have technical difficulty. Mr. Parham, how are you, sir?
Why we got it paused?
This one, because of the way we're on the internet,
It'll mess it up.
it lags. So we want to see on camera the little small monitor next to it.
Oh,
I had it working fine one time. I don't know what happened.
Chad Hatfield's watching with us. It says so right here on my
Am
phone.
I?
That's what it says.
I didn't even realize I'd
Oh,
hit
look
it
at
yet.
Kent on there.
JL's watching. Kent Davis
Kent
is watching.
Davis.
Hot and early.
Ken Dave's usually he's
Jimmy
pretty.
dispersed it amongst his friends.
Well, I tell you what, you could have him on the
Yes, you
show
do.
and talk about some stuff. Golly.
Them Carnitas.
It is in Cornitas.
Ah, heck. What'd I do?
He's the one that talks to Mookie Betts' dad on a pretty regular basis.
Right.
Really?
Yes, really.
That's pretty cool.
No kidding. His name's Willie.
Willie Betts?
Rides around a motorcycle quite often.
I think we've talked about that before. Not
I'm
for
glad to
long.
see you're awake.
I can't believe I'm so new to this information about you, nap time.
Matt.
Well, it's the secret to youth.
Newton,
The secret to you.
JC. You hit them S words.
I would lose it if I just look over and Bub's like,
Don't. I'm just telling you, don't be surprised. The only reason it won't be is because it's his boy tonight.
Ain't gonna happen tonight.
yeah, not
He's
tonight.
in a comfy chair.
Me and
It'd be
you
like
might be able
that
to take a
cat's
nap.
tail in a room full of rocking chairs. It
Travis.
won't be
Come
long
on.
now.
Travis, you don't even have to say it. Like, what you can do is point your finger up. Look here.
What's up, Mikey?
And tell them that. You see, there you go. Yeah.
Left light.
Tickle it a little bit. On the ampersand.
You're kind of like Vanna White.
Thank you.
Yep, show it.
Except
Display
like
it
a-
there, Chad. Yeah.
Male, trashier version.
I gotta go backwards.
We wouldn't be very good weathermen.
You don't have to be good to be a weatherman.
Well, how many just in front of the camera because we can't even do it correctly.
Bubba, would you like to give a shot at displaying it?
At explaining what?
Displaying.
Wake up, Bubba.
There you go, right there.
Peace, everybody.
Well done. Well done. Eli, would you
Ooh,
like
can I
to
do
go?
it?
Yeah, take. Yeah.
You're gonna have to go behind your
Joe
head.
Abraham, somebody Cheryl, Jonathan Smith,
Easy.
Don't. Ain't
Sorry,
no
I got
trick.
violent. I got violent with it.
Big Al.
Yes.
I don't know why I have to be so aggressive.
No. My goodness. All right. You
Ready?
want to make this happen?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Chris Farmer is watching.
Bubba finally showed up.
He's here.
Bubba's here.
I'm here.
All right, everybody, welcome to the
Next episode.
The Everyday Joe Show. Your host, the Travis Reed. You might have heard me before.
It's unanimous. Everyone has heard of you, Travis.
Yes, unanimous decision. All right, guys, here we are, Tuesday night, Studio 11, Everyday Joe Show Sports Edition. Tonight we are going to break down, kind of, the ESPN documentary, The Last Dance. If you've not seen it, I implore you, as soon as this show's over, go watch it consecutively for 10 hours.
What?
Don't even go to bed. Just watch it. You will love it.
Till the sun
If you
comes
skip
up.
the commercials, it won't even take you 10 whole hours.
No, man. No.
That's a very good point.
Even if you watch it on the app, you still got like every commercial break's maybe like a minute or less.
What if these people have lives to
Yeah.
live?
No. Hey, I'm off work for a little bit, then they don't have a life. So they need to go watch it. Hashtag watch it, people.
It's about the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah. So, guys,
We'll
tonight,
decide that later.
And Michael Jordan.
our panel of experts. Mr. Chad Hatfield, how are you, sir?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm fabulous. What you got in that can?
Well, it's Tuesday night. Wife and son are at the beach, so it's, in the words of the famous Eli Kidder, it's golden top kind of night.
Oh, man. Ain't it great?
It's wonderful, actually. It's fine. It's a fine Pilsner.
It is a fine Pilsner. Eli, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Eli Kidder,
Yes,
how are you, sir?
I'm well. And you?
I am Trabulous.
Well done, Eli.
Boom.
See, I didn't have to break it down for you that time.
Co-producer credits.
Good job.
Huh?
That was good.
He gets extra pay for that.
I'm out for your job.
No, Jimmy. What are you drinking there, buddy?
I'm a white can man.
White Can Man. You just sit on the toilet and think of these things, don't you?
I do, as a matter of
it's
fact.
impressive.
It's not always the toilet.
No?
No, it could be at my desk or in the recliner,
Yeah.
park benches. Just pretty much anywhere you can sit down.
Are you allowed to go to parks again? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can
Yeah,
go,
I just have. Well, yeah, I have to stay 150 feet away from schools and places like
Can
that.
you go to the dog
But
park
since
again?
I
now?
no longer have just the mustache, I can sneak in. They don't
So
really.
you're fine at the dog park, though, right?
Yes.
'Cause I know there's a question there for a little while. I didn't know.
It's okay.
Okay, all right, good.
Can we please draw attention to Eli's lower third, please?
Loves a well-maintained yard.
I do love a well. It kind of hurt my feelings. You guys didn't even say anything about my yard when you.
I would like to just go ahead and chime in. Eli's yard is on point. I was there Sunday, and I had the pleasure of unloading some topsoil, and I got to see just how
Put in
beautiful
work.
the grass is. It was a pleasure. We unloaded it.
If you guys want, when you drop me off, I'll let you take your shoes off and walk across it if you want.
It's like walking
Nice.
across old 70s carpet.
Little shag,
Boy, it's nice.
wall to wall.
Like Burberry.
Thanks for being here, Eli.
Thank you,
Boo.
Travis.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Man, I am well. How are you?
I am. Well,
We already,
know.
we already been there.
What you drinking?
Having Mellow Yellow. I might still a beer here in a minute, but I don't know. I might stay on Mellow Yellow. Have not decided as of yet.
Well, we're still drinking some of the beer provided from GRS Designs.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So, thanks to Gretchen and Richie.
I love this.
Is that Gretchen and Richie?
Yeah, they supplied the beer for us.
That's right.
Jimmy, this is not the Tuesday night shows are not numbered, just themed shows. Well, thanks for being here. Do you get a chance to get you a Travis-sized fine pilsner?
Short and squatty.
Short and squatty, whole lot of body, baby.
Yep.
Truth.
Hey, Travis, I'm pretty sure he said short and squatty. Just saying.
I think he sharded.
Set that one
I
down.
feel like that was terrible.
Freudian slip. Freudian slip.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
What are you drinking? I can't
Well,
see.
I'm having 23 flavors of awesome.
Provided by.
GRS Designs.
GRS
Thank you
Designs.
to the Seasons. I love the Seasons.
That's right. That's right. Good to see you. Even those are huge TV in front of you.
Hey, man, I'm just glad to be here in the same room. Just for the record, next time you introduce experts, would you start with the expert, please?
He did.
Best for last.
Best for
No.
last.
Well, best for last I'll take, but he is the expert.
But best for last.
You're the best for last. He's the expert. So see what I'm saying?
this
You need to
guy.
start with
Next to
Bubbles.
last.
Well, I'll get him on a question here in
Thank
just
you.
1 second. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
And the expert in question is Bubba
There's
Whitsett.
a whole lot of question there.
Lee
Okay.
How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you, man. What you
Good to
having
see
there?
you. I'm having the goat to
really
talk
d-
about the goat.
Having
He
the
really
goat.
doesn't like Duke.
That's what I'm having. I'm having the goat to talk about the goat.
Do you need a koozie?
Tooth, you can stop any day now. And
I didn't do that. Bull did it. It's on screen. I'm just reading it.
Bull, you can stop any day now. Thank you.
Really
Look
is.
at your lower third.
It's your lower third.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're supposed to
It's
spell
not
Duke.
like Duke.
D-O-O.
You're supposed to
Yeah.
spell that
with the
okay,
lowercase.
like other
lowercase
spells.
d
Remember
o
when
o k,
I
sir.
said that out loud?
Okay. I will correct that. Well, I
Thank
wanted
you.
him
What's
to
up, Bobby
correct it
McGraw?
live on air.
And now he has.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Thank
I know
you.
it's a subject you and Hatfield would be all on.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And I myself having a fine pilsner, Union made.
I need you to answer B.E. Parham as soon as you can. What's it taste like, Travis?
That tastes like a free 12-pack at the company store every Friday.
Company
go.
store, he said.
Sold my soul. To the company store.
God almighty. Woo! That's right, Patrick Newland. Here we go. So we're going to try to jump in right in this. I'm going to hit you with one question right quick. What's Michael Jordan's birthday?
He didn't answer him.
February 17th, 1964.
63, baby. Brooklyn, New York.
63.
63. Hashtag facts.
Show's over.
8 years.
I'm the expert.
Hashtag facts. All right. What do you drink? Frenchie drinking the Coors again. What's up, Jay Dammer? All right, guys. So, The Last Dance. Heard about this. I think the first trailer or small trailer was in like May of 2018. Saw it and I'm just like, oh my God. And it said, coming in 2020 or whatever. How you going to do that to a man? 2 years, you're going to hype this documentary up of never before seen footage of the Bulls and Michael Jordan. How you going to tease a person for 2 years? What?
BE would like to know where he can donate beer at. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Well, that's
Okay, I will.
that's
pretty
worth
important.
interrupting for.
That's funny.
We'll figure it out,
said
and
it.
I will
Thank you.
send you at the. I didn't see the thing, so I couldn't.
It's okay.
I couldn't see it. I'll send you at the end of the show. I'll figure something out.
Well, and I wasn't going to say anything, but B also stored your stick. He stole your stick. He said Union
You made?
Made.
No, he's just barring it.
Yeah, just borrow it.
Give him a nickel every time he does it.
Yeah,
That's why he's getting his beer. So,
What up, Jay?
2018, they did it. Apparently, they agreed upon. He agreed upon doing it in 2016. So it took them 2 years to figure out to get it to fruition, and then start producing it with ESPN and Netflix. And they followed around in 97 and 98. Him and the Bulls allowed the film crew to follow him around. Only under one condition. He was in control of when and where it was distributed, that film. So he's selling that film for 20 years almost?
wow.
Did anybody here know about this prior?
I didn't know about it in 2008 or 2016, 2018, whatever you say.
You're right. Yeah,
I knew
I
I
didn't see the trailer.
I saw it in the trailer because Justin Hobbs texted me. He goes, hey, be watching ESPN tonight. They're dropping this trailer for the new Jordan documentary. So I'm watching ESPN. Boom, there it was. Freak out. I lost it. Like, oh, my God. But I didn't hear anything about it prior at all. You, too?
Nope. Same thing. Trailer.
How? I mean, I guess you're Michael Jordan. You're an enigma. You are your own thing. I guess you can sit on information like that for 20 years and not tell anybody. You got all kinds of other stuff going on. But I would have lost my mind. Other people that would have known about it, I'm like, oh, man, he's got this footage. And then it comes out, and censored and non-censored, which I loved the censored part because I felt like you got the real Michael Jordan with him.
And the uncensored.
Uncensored.
Yeah, with him cussing like that, or because that's what it was. He was because you could tell just by the interview he's fiery. He don't like to lose an interview, so he's just cussing like crazy. I thought that was great. But I just I can't believe that he sat on it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Couldn't
you?
do it.
No,
Couldn't
there's
do
no
it.
way.
Do y'all think that he sat on it thinking and I'm asking, I'm not saying this happened. Do y'all think that he sat on it thinking that there's going to be some young guy that all these young people are going to be praising as the next best thing, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and hold on to this until the time's right
Until
and
LeBron's here.
and let these young bucks know
LBJ ain't
what's
shit.
up. What's up?
I say no.
And you're probably right.
He's just the control freak that Michael Jordan is. He's going to put it out when he wants, how he wants, and where he wants.
probably right.
I like Bubba's thought process, though. That is unique to hold on to it until somebody starts questioning your legacy and then go, just in case some of y'all want to question it.
Right.
For those of you that don't know,
Right.
here this
Now
is.
you know.
Because to his
you
point
know.
too is I can see it both
Yo,
ways.
slick.
Blow.
What's up, Scott? Him wanting that edge, like you just said. Well, here, oh yeah, you forgot about me. Here you go. Who? LeBron? Who? Kobe? Who? Look at this. So I can see him going. I'm gonna hold this back, and then when the time's right, boom, ace in the hole. here I am again. Or, with being Jordan, he could just go, bam, here it is. You'll never forget it now. Either way, it's going to work because of who he is and how he is. So, but I guess it was supposed to be released in June, and then because of the COVID-19 coronavirus,
Only good thing to come out of the corona.
absolutely, they decided to release it early, which I thought was genius between ESPN and Netflix, and I guess Jordan. I guess he probably had to sign off on it.
Yeah, he had to sign off on every second of film.
Do you think the people that filmed it had to sign a non-disclosure or anything like that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fairly certain that there's all kinds of legalities involved with that. I would think.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like you said, he probably had creative control over what. So, I mean, I guess you're talking about for the personal off-camera things or
yeah.
those things that were edited, non-disclosure type things.
Yeah, that and they couldn't even talk about being part of the film crew.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being.
It's like winning Survivor and you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, you got to be quiet about it.
Or The Bachelor, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
One of those shows.
Don't act like you don't watch them.
Yeah, that's what
I watch Survivor every week. I love it.
I hate that joke.
That's okay. It's just like your opinion, man.
Man.
Yeah, man. I loved it from the very beginning. I did think it was odd how it bounced back and forth. Towards the end, it made more sense for me. But at the beginning, it bounced back and forth too much. I didn't care for it. I felt like if they were just now watching Michael Jordan, somebody young, they might confuse them. I wish it went chronologically.
They've got M. Night Shyamalan. He's set a precedent for it.
Whoa, Mikey Sherrill. Question is, does he have more footage to release later down the road?
Oh, would that not be great? I doubt it, but
Man,
I hope
wow.
my boy Cheryl's right.
That would be awesome. So, first thoughts, Chad. When it came out in the first couple episodes, what'd you think?
Obviously, growing up in that time, first episode was more about his high school, college. I was there to watch. I was really wanting that behind the scenes things. Bubba and I were talking last night, and you knew all that stuff. You knew what he went through in high school, how his playing with his brother and his family life, and getting put on the JV team. You knew all that stuff. So I thought the first maybe 1.5 episodes were a little slow, but then when they got into that third one, when Rodman was the feature of it, that's when I really got into it, because that dude entertains me.
Yeah, Carmen Electra, whenever she got on screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Who?
Carmen Electra was on screen.
Oh, yeah, she was on the
phenomenal.
night, too.
It was phenomenal.
Kiss the trophy.
Correct.
Okay.
Eli, what'd you think when you heard about it and you saw the first couple episodes?
I was pumped about it. I'm with you. And I know you're not talking about in the beginning, but the only thing that would improve that, I think, is for it to be more chronological. Because Emma, and this is the great thing about this show, is it roped my wife, my daughter, and they were both like this. They were
True.
Hey, let's watch The Last Dance, and Emma's like, no, I hadn't seen 8 yet. We can't watch it. I gotta watch 8. Let me watch 8. So she was excited about it. This is a 15-year-old girl. You know what I mean? Who at one time told me that Allen Iverson was the best basketball player ever. That's what I said. And not so many words.
He said it in cursive.
Yeah. Yay. But that's the only thing that I thought could have been improved. But other than that, it was extremely well made. And it's an awesome, awesome show. And if you haven't seen it, dedicate 10 hours of your life to it, because it's life-changing.
Well, you didn't watch it all. You seen the highlights, though, right?
Yeah, I saw the highlights, and just again, the little tidbits and behind the scenes, and the way they went after Kukok. That was really interesting aspect, and the way Scottie Pippen, he's just sitting there, just all calm and just like wasn't nothing personal, but we had to show the man that, hey, your pick is trash. And that tidbit, and then again the way they went in on the owner, that battle back and forth with the owner, that was interesting. And again, did I mention Carmen Electra made an appearance?
No, you haven't. Would you say that again?
Who is Carmen
Yes.
Electra?
So Carmen Electra was in Vegas hiding out with Dennis Rodman, and she did not elaborate why, but Jordan burst into the room, and for some reason she had to shield herself and hide behind a couch.
That's when he was in Vegas and they couldn't find him or whatever.
Yeah, I can only assume that she was eating a cupcake,
board.
and she couldn't have her public image tarnished.
Probably true.
Probably true.
Yeah, so that's the only reason she's in Vegas with Dennis Rodman after 48 hours of partying nonstop, and here comes Jordan in on her, and she doesn't want him seeing her eat a cupcake, and that's what I took from it.
Okay. All right.
Carmen
What do you
Electra.
think?
I think Bull's talking again, and we should not allow that.
Yeah.
A little
It's
more
often
producing, a little less talking.
Carmen Electra.
I have to agree. We had it was Patrick Newland. I have to agree with him. I think I would have liked to have seen just a little bit about like meeting his wife, maybe, and the kids that showed up at the end. I'm like, when did Jordan have kids? How come I didn't know he had kids? Where these kids come from? I'd like to see a little bit about his, I know he's
Personal
private, and that's part of
He's
it.
divorced from her now.
See, these are good things to know. But
He wrote her like a $250 million check and said,
168.
168. Said, all right, see you.
money well spent.
Oh, it might have been cheaper to keep her on that level. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
But
worth.
it's Jordan.
But he's a
huh?
gazillionaire.
Yeah, he's
I was
worth
so-
gonna say 168 million. That's just dropping a bucket. He made that back last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these J's that they keep selling, and all these retros, and he's making bank. Dude, there was players on the show that were wearing Jordan gear. I love that. I love the interview guys. They be like, had their Jordan gear on. I was like, yeah, they all representing for the man right now. But other than that, I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I got to relive a lot of my youth.
Love your Ute.
So I was everybody was, if you were alive in the 90s, you were a Bulls fan. And if you weren't, it didn't matter. You were a Jordan fan regardless. I don't know what you just said, Eli,
He's a Lakers guy.
but I'm just saying everybody loved Jordan, or they hated him, but they loved him. So it was
They knew
excellent.
him. So big heavy.
Excellent.
Bubs, what about you?
Don't have a lot to say. It was great. The only thing I agree with what Tooth said, but Jordan's daughter made it very clear that he wanted all of that private between him and his wife. He did not show his kids much. That was on purpose. What else did he say? That house that he was in was a rented house down the street from his house. So he never did any of those interviews at his own house. It was a rented house down the street.
Oh.
But he's, like you said, he's very private. And,
With good reason.
well,
Well, you have to be. When
he
you're at
won't.
that
He
level.
wants out of the limelight. He's had his day, and he doesn't want it anymore. That's why you don't see public appearances anymore. You don't see interviews hardly. I mean, until this, came along. But
After seeing this, you can completely understand. That's the one thing I took away from it. Bull can make all the jokes he wants, but the one thing I really took away from all 10 episodes was we all joke around about what would it be like to be Mike for a day or for a week. But that scene where he's talking about, be
It
Mike for a
sucks.
year, and
Yeah.
they keep reshooting it, and be Mike for, you don't want to be Mike. It is a hassle. He can't even walk out of a hotel room. They're ganging up I couldn't imagine that kind of publicity and the paparazzi on me all of the time. So, yeah, he could.
Yeah, there's
shows it.
stories where he would have to rent out a grocery store just to go to the grocery store after hours. Pay the manager and the company and the staff an extra hour after they closed so he could shop. Because otherwise he couldn't go. That's the Michael Jackson type stuff. Just you can't go anywhere.
Right.
You did get to see a lot of that. I think with that footage, just actually how it was. Like before games, he hung out with his security detail. You know,
I love the guy with the perm.
The dude, he was a pimp.
Yes.
I like that. He was my favorite when they were
Tossing
floating dollars
quarters.
and pitching pennies
Yes.
over there, talking mad trash to him.
And Jordan get mad because he lost $20.
Yeah. That dude's probably still got that $20 hanging on a wall.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought it was cool how he hung with. He wanted to be around his security because the security detail was like, okay, it's a of course it's Michael Jordan, but they saw him was 41 times a year at least, for home basketball games. So they're back there just hanging with him, and they, like I said, shooting quarters and betting on stuff, and they're giving Jordan down the road. They're messing with him.
Oh yeah,
Which I thought was great because I loved watching Jordan give everybody just a ton of crap because we all had that guy in our group. Everybody does. Where they're just on somebody all the time, and he was that guy. Of course, it was for a different reason.
poor Scott Burrell.
Poor Burrell.
But
He was on Scott, wasn't he?
I'm glad Scott Burrell's a mild-mannered man.
Yeah.
Golly, dude.
He trying to be like
He
Rodman.
said, if I see you, I'm going to whip you.
But the first couple episodes with me, it did go around the high school thing, which we already knew, and the college thing we already knew. And then it went, his early NBA career, mostly knew that, and the broke foot and all that stuff. And then the 63 points against Boston, 86, and then went to the Pistons. I've seen the 30 for 30 on the Pistons. If you've not watched that one, I don't care if you hate the Detroit Pistons.
Make you
Watch it.
appreciate them.
Two's watching it right now, aren't
I
you?
finished it
You
twice.
Man, great documentary. Watching that and then watching this Jordan thing, you get both sides of the deal, and you kind of like, man, it was a hatred, but it was a respectful hatred. Maybe not between him and Isaiah still, but he did have three former Pistons on that team on the latter years. James Buddha Edwards, John Sally, and Rodman. So I thought that was good that you kind of got both sides of the Pistons and the Bulls things from their perspective and from Jordan's and Pippen's and Phil's. I thought it was great because that was growing up in that era, the Pistons broke the Bulls' heart every year, and it got old,
Oh, yeah.
really old. I hated the Pistons for that. Bill Laimbeer, I'd punch.
Well, Bill Laimbeer was the fire behind that whole rivalry. I think Isaiah was the superstar that took a lot of the blame for it. Because if you watch that video of them leaving the court early, you see as they're walking by the Bulls bench. Isaiah's walking, trying to duck his head like, hopefully nobody's seeing me.
Yeah.
But there's Laimbeer walking up, loud and proud. Give me all you want. He was the power behind that.
You know why they did that? Because Boston did that to Detroit 3 years prior when they put Boston out, and Laimbeer's like, he's the cattle. He was like, hey, let's throw the Celtics on these guys. Let's go. It was like 7 seconds left or whatever, something like that. So I think McHale was the only one that shook anybody's hand when the Boston walked off. Everybody else just headed out the door. And you know who probably started that? It was probably Larry.
Oh, yeah. It was Larry.
Yeah, because that was the biggest trash talker in the NBA.
Was it Larry or Danny?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's for sure. Oh yeah, I was pumped about it. Saw it. I didn't watch it live because I needed something to watch during lunch for work. So, but that was the bad problem. It was one of those documentaries, one of those shows where you're so hyped up for it, and it's actually good as you thought it was going to be. It built up the hype. So you want to get to the next episode to see what happens, but you don't want that episode to end. Yeah. And you get so enthralled in it, by the time it's over, you're like, son of a... it's already up. Okay, well, there's another one. So you do the same range of emotions in the second episode. You're like, I got to wait a week. Oh, my God. That is the one bad thing about watching something like that is you're so pumped for it, and then it's actually that good, and it kind of ruins it because you're like, well, now what?
You sit there and look at the clock, and all of a sudden it's 8:50. It's like, damn, that was fast.
Yes. Yeah, it's and Sunday could not get here quick enough. You don't want to wish your life away, but
Yeah.
to watch that stuff, let's go. It's almost better just to not watch it and watch it all at one time, 10 hours straight.
That's just 10 hours. In 5 Sundays.
Has anybody went back and watched it again? Any part of it?
I've watched
I have
some.
not.
I've seen.
I've watched several episodes more than once. Not all 10, but like 3 or 4 of them I've watched a couple times. For instance, the one that really focuses on the Pistons and the Bad Boys, the first time it aired, I had recorded it, and it just so happened that 30 for 30 came on after that it aired. Like, they played the 2 episodes, and then, like, they played a 30 for 30, so I caught it and was like, let me watch that one again, and then watched my recording of the 30 for 30 so I could really get the dynamic and get both sides of it, like Travis was just saying. It was really awesome that they did that. I thought that was cool.
It was 4. 4 was Detroit, right?
It was either 3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
One of them was
3 was Rodman because 2 was Pippen.
okay.
So I think 4 was Detroit.
Well, what about how bad Scottie Pippen? I mean, it's on Scottie Pippen. He signed the deal, but golly, man.
That set was a 7-year deal for like 1.8 or something a
About
year.
1.8 a year, yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
And the owner told him, "Don't sign it." Dude, no, I would not sign that.
But they dove into what his thinking was. I mean,
Yeah.
here's a guy, we can talk about Jordan being a JV guy through his sophomore year. You're talking about a guy who was a manager on his JUCO, who
Grew 6 inches.
grew 6 inches, and in JUCO basketball, you're going to lose casualties to grades. Mm-hmm. That all of a sudden, or injuries there at that Christmas break, and now all of a sudden, there's a uni for you, buddy.
Yeah, step up.
So, and the thing about his dad being paralyzed, and
Yeah.
his brother getting.
I didn't know any. I didn't know that.
I can completely understand why he wanted to make sure he was going to have money, because he could have been a 1-year guy. I mean, nobody thought Scottie Pippen was going to be a
That's true.
top 50 guy all time.
Yeah, I never.
Any other team, he's a superstar. And I mean, he was a superstar on the Bulls, but I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine if he played for somebody else? You know what I mean?
During that
Yeah.
time,
During
in
that
his-
same time
being
period in his
the
prime,
guy.
yeah, he would have been the guy.
Yeah, so he had some success, in Houston and in Portland, but that wasn't his quote prime.
Right.
No.
He was phasing out.
That back injury that he had in that 98 series, I mean, he was done after that. You mess up your back, you're
Oh yeah.
in trouble.
I have a question. What do you guys think about the way they painted Jerry Krause? Because he's kind of villainized a little bit, but
I like the way they came to closure with it in the last 10 minutes of the show. And Pippen comes back and says,
We got to give him
we got to give him some credit because he pulled off the deal for Rodman, pulls off the deal for James Edwards. They need a big man. Steve Kerr.
Bill Cartwright.
He
Bill
traded
Cartwright.
to get Scottie Pippen. Scottie was drafted by the Supersonics, I think.
Yep, you're right.
Supersonic.
So he pulls off that trade. I mean, if you can give him all the garbage you want about the way that him coming out and saying this is Phil's last year, which I thought was stupid to do at the
bad
first of the
timing.
year.
Sure.
The first of the year. I mean, because it backs yourself into a corner, but you got to give the man his credit. He built a winner, and he wasn't getting any credit either. It was all Michael, Jerry, and Scotty. So, go ahead, Derek. You got a good one.
I feel like, I'm not saying they didn't villainize him, but I am saying I watched him on camera. He villainized himself.
He did.
I mean, just the way he talked. And look, I get it. He deserves some credit. I get that. And I agree with you, Chad. That last 10 minutes when Pippen said that, I thought a lot of that. But at the same time, I'm just going to say, yeah, he pulled some deals off and some trades off and put a team together. But the team still did the job. And MJ's still in the spotlight. And him being jealous of that, I thought was petty. And he showed his jealousy on his own, in my opinion.
100% agree.
Yep.
So that's just to answer your question about how you feel. That's how I feel. I feel like he did it to himself.
That's what I'm looking for.
Because the players made fun of him.
I love that.
They made fun of him openly.
Yep.
The players knew it.
Straight to his face.
Right to his face.
Not even in Helveticus. It's in
Correct.
Times New Roman.
Times New Roman. That's a new one, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
It's good.
Times New Roman. Kent Davis says, do we think Krause took too much heat, and was Reinsdorf as much or more to blame? No. I don't think so either. I think Reinsdorf gave Krause, here's the keys. Yep. You do it. He did. Because like when Pippen brought it, went to sign the deal, and Reinsdorf said, "Hey, don't sign this. This is stupid. You can get way more money than this. I'll pay you more money than this." He's like, "No, I got to take it." He's like, "Well, don't come to me and ask for more until this is over. Yep. Do not do it because I'm going to tell you no." Well, to me, that he's empowering his GM to say, "Hey, you're in control. I hired
gave you the job
to do the job. I'm standing back," and that's what he did. So I don't think Reinsdorf.
And I was reading something yesterday, day before, something about, Krause. I mean, there was a bunch of trade offers for Scotty there in that third three-peat. And Reinsdorf came down and said, no, it doesn't matter who you're going to get. Because there was one I saw that he would have been able to get Ron Mercer, who we all know, but didn't turn out a great player, and Tracy McGrady with the picks because of where they had fallen. So, and Reinsdorf's like, nope, we're not doing it.
I do want to say, from a business perspective, just trying to be the guy standing outside, trying to be a conscientious objector.
Alvin York.
I get why you would want to, especially, 6 out of 7 years we've got these guys who have won the championship, all 6 out of 7. It gets boring if you've only got the team. You know what I'm saying? Each year, I feel like I understand from a business perspective from the NBA. Okay, well, the Bulls have had the spotlight for the last 10 years overall, and 6 of those years they've pulled off some championships, and Jordan's done all this. And now it's maybe time to switch some things up, and then maybe another team gets some spotlight and bring some money in from that area. I think from a business perspective, I get it, but I still think he did it wrong. I think he could have been done way better than the whole, he's not coming back. And
I just think you wait till the end of the year to say that.
Yeah.
There too.
Because like even Reinsdorf offered Field the job for that one more year, and he was like, no. And I respected Phil Jackson for saying, no, you're cutting Jerry's legs out from under him. Yeah. And I thought,
now
don't get me wrong.
I will also backtrack a little bit on my comment about Pippen saying how good of a GM he was. It's real easy to say that with Jerry Krause not being alive today.
Sure.
Had he been, would Scotty be as considerate about that, or would he still be holding that grudge?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think maybe it depends on how honest he is, because he was very honest. I think that's an honest comment.
He did.
That is an honest comment.
I mean, just like he wasn't going to screw up his summer and get surgery.
He was honest.
How many times does your boss piss you off at the end of the day? You're like, you know what? He had a point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if you've ever had to fire someone, it sucks, but hey, you got to do that. And that guy that you fired, he's telling his wife how crappy of a person you are, but hey, it was a decision that had to be made, and
I've
you're
never
in
had
that
to
position.
Fire anybody ever.
They fired themselves.
Anybody I've had to let go of fired themselves. That's just the way I look at it. It's a lot easier that way.
Thank you.
Hey, look, I told you not to do that.
Yeah, I forgot he's in the princess chair.
What do you think, Bub?
Hard him to get out.
Well, Pippen wasn't going to resign. There when he was hurt, before he came back to play, missed 35 games or so, 36, and made it very clear to the media that he wasn't coming back. I mean, even when he got healthy. And then he changed his tone. And this is what he said. Not my thoughts, but his words were, I'm fighting a losing battle here with management. Let me go ahead and just get this year. Let me go ahead and, play this year and get this over with instead of.
And that was in the first three-peat. Because that was like 93, wasn't it?
No, this was in 98. This was the last year. When he got hurt in that off season, what was it? Some foot or something? That was the last year.
Okay.
Because the Bulls started out that 98 season with a not so good record.
Right.
And that was
they're just a little bit above 500.
See, that's where the
That was him
timeline
missing.
and the skipping around is messed up, because I thought it was in the first also.
Right. And that's due to all that skipping around.
Okay.
And it did come together at the end, like Travis said, but a lot of that's from that skipping around. But that was the last season. That was the last dance. That was the last year when he was hurt and said all that.
And what kind of I know Phil, I guess, saw writing on the wall. Krause told him, hey, you're not coming back next year, to name the team handbook The Last Dance. It's just that type of thinking that Phil Jackson does, how smart of a guy he is, just to to call it that, and I thought that was not genius, but pretty cool that he did. Let's name this The Last Dance, and they kept, and even in those interviews in 97, 98, which I don't remember, they were referring to this year as The Last Dance. Yeah. Which going back and watching, I'm like, oh, okay, okay, I get it, but I don't remember him saying that at the time. And we all knew from watching SportsCenter and stuff that it was going to be the last year.
I don't think it was as publicized, and maybe we just don't remember it. But
you could be right about that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was 22 years ago, Eli.
It was. That's a long time ago.
It was a very long time ago. I remember the Pippen squabble a little bit. I remember
a little bit.
I remember them breaking up. Krause saying, Phil Jackson's not going to be back, and then Jordan saying, if he's not coming back, I'm not coming back. And then as a kid or a young adult, you're like, there's no way they're going to break it. How?
Why?
This, because like I was thinking about this, what to talk about. Part of the show is like we got to witness history. You know what I mean? We got to watch the best basketball player to ever play the game play basketball. But we could have seen they robbed us of even more history. What other? How many more could they have won? One at least.
At least one.
One.
At least one.
That was
easy.
that shortened season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because Michael said, he knew Dennis would come back. He said Dennis would come back. He said Phil
came back.
Phil would have said he'd come back. He said Scotty could have got more money. He said, but I could have got him to come back. He said, Steve Kerr. He said, I could have got
I'd
Steve
signed
Kerr.
another 1 year contract. I've been signing 1 year contracts all the way till then.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he said, I could have got Steve Kerr. He said, Tony was still there. I could have got, he said, Luke would came back. What? That would have been 7.
How much of that, his father passing and the fire being pulled from him, was dramatic and true, though? Like, I mean, if the fire was gone, was there another year?
I think.
Well, that was well before.
Yeah,
that
was.
That was the '94 year when he went to go play baseball.
Yeah, when he left to go play baseball.
I think
okay,
that was.
Okay, all right. Again, it was bouncing around, and I got messed up.
Yep, and it's easy to do.
Well, yeah, well.
So let me ask you guys this question. Go around the room.
7.
Not now. He's answered the question. How'd you know it was 7? That's the last thing I said before I asked that question. We all knew Jordan was a fiery competitor. We always heard the stories. You heard the fighting in the locker room. You heard him punching Will Perdue and punching Steve Kerr. And, I didn't know about him getting old. God, I just forgot his name. No, Scotty Burrell. Poor guy. I didn't know about that one. But did this bring it to light? Do you think Jordan was whole, or you think that was just what he needed to do? Do you buy into that?
Anybody who is as successful in that and whether you take competitive there or on Wall Street or whatever, you're an asshole. Because it's because most people don't understand that level of
Excellence.
Perfect word. And wanting to strive to be the best, to strive to have the most real estate, whatever business you're in. You don't understand that, and since you don't understand it, you getting on teammates or whatever, it's going to portray that, but 100% yes. I mean, the only person we've seen or heard that is anywhat close to it since Jordan is Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, how could you not enjoy playing with Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, one, the guy's a dominant player and has to be fun to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
But him and Kobe didn't jive. So, yeah, he is, and rightfully so. He had one goal and one goal only.
Yep. Can't argue with the end result. Yeah. That's for sure. What say you, Eli?
I asked my girls last night when we were watching this. I said, wouldn't it be awesome to be so good at something that you could be a complete jerk and people still love you? Because you're that good at it. Yep. That no matter how hard you are on them or how much of a jerk you are, they're like, well, he's the best. And like you said, I know I've worked with several people, and I know a couple that are really driven and they want to go that next level all the time. It's always next level, next level, next level. And a lot of people just don't have that mindset to be willing to do what it takes to get to that. And I think that goes to your point that most people aren't wired that way.
Yeah.
To want, I mean, everybody wants to be successful, sure, but are you willing to do?
Most people want to be successful to be satisfied. They don't want to be successful to be the best ever.
I know a guy that says, "I'm often pleased but never satisfied."
There you go.
And I think that's the mindset that Michael Jordan had.
Well,
And most people don't get that.
yeah. Well, Tooth, we'll see you guys.
Two, go first.
Carmen Electric.
That was funny.
Did you know? Did y'all know she was in the documentary?
Her tale. I personally feel like this came up during Kim and I watching these episodes. She kind of talked about him being a bully, to use a different term than hole. And I was like, look, when you listen, and this is again an opinion, but my perception of me listening to the teammates that really care about Jordan, Pippen, and Rob, these guys care about Jordan still. They love the guy. Throughout watching, I heard different teammates say things like, yeah, he was, but it was because he was striving for excellence and he was striving to be the best and to make us the best. It was motivational, and sometimes it comes across as being a hole, and maybe he even knew that, but I don't think his intention was just to be a butthole. His intention was to motivate, to drive, to share some of his drive and ambition with his teammates. And for the most part, what I perceived is that his teammates gained respect for him because of that. So to close it up, I used to work with a lady, and she told me that I was a butthole, but I was a good butthole, and it was because of things like that. You're a butthole, but it's because you want us all to be better, so you're a good butthole. And I think that's kind of the same capacity. Jordan just wanted his team to be the best, period. Even if that caused some conflict from time to time. There was one scuffle that was talked about during the show, and when it was over, it's like, hey, we were closer than ever after that.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is for most guys who are friends that scuffle.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us at some point or another have had some kind of tussle, and when it was over, we were probably closer afterwards.
Right.
So
I hit him in the F and I.
hit him in the F and I.
And that was great when Steve Kerr said, and I'm competitive. I'm just not usually good enough to back it up.
That was Steve Kerr, and you did see when they went back with the clips of Kerr hitting big shots and Jordan, hugging him, and
Oh, yeah.
it was a genuine. Look here, I hit the dude in the eye. Look what happened.
Yeah.
This is my boy now.
I love
Because
you.
They, you could tell they grew closer
They
because
grew closer,
Jordan,
and Jordan just wanted all of his teammates to be the best they could be.
right.
I mean, that's what I gathered from his playing, his ability, and his pushing. He just wanted them to be, even if that's not as good as him, he still wants them to be the best they can be. Just like you tell me all the time, you're like, you want me to do the best that I can do. You want your friends to do well. Jordan wanted his teammates to do well. That's the way I see it.
And Eli and Tooth done a great job, just elaborating on that. But I think him going to Vegas to get Rodman, that just sort of highlights what we're talking about.
Point.
He did not go to Vegas to get Rodman because he couldn't score 63 points without him.
Just
there
because
was,
he wanted to.
or just because he wanted to.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's Michael Jordan and they're the Bulls. I'm pretty sure they could have sent somebody
Good
to
point.
drag Jordan
Never
back.
thought about it that way.
That and Carmen Electric.
Oh God! Did you guys know she was in the documentary?
I heard she kissed a trophy.
She was also eating a cupcake.
But I heard she had to cover up because Jordan walked in the room.
I know.
That's where I thought that story was going. To be honest with you.
She is disrobed.
Yeah, she disrobed.
Well, I don't know.
Probably hadn't been robed.
I was going to say she was already disrobed, and when they walked in the room, man, she had to cover up because she was eating that cupcake.
You know what? I'm just now putting that together. Now that y'all talking about it, she must have been in the news
She
when
didn't
he
want
come
to
in
get
the room.
crumbs on her cashmere and Versace's and stuff.
Thank you too. There we go.
They'll never get out.
No.
Well,
That
what say
cake
you?
boss icing on there.
You've been a Jordan fan follower since what, 82?
82, 81, 82 season. It was just respect.
I was
I
three.
mean, when you see them run, and he's always in the lead, it's by example.
Did notice that.
To the line.
And
Yes,
that
sir.
too. That too. He touched the line every single time. I mean, this. I don't know if I should go there or not.
Well,
Do it.
Go ahead.
This generation of sissies that's coming up right now
Preach.
is going to look at it as, that. I mean, back when we were in school, and somebody come off that way, big deal. You took it. You didn't go around talking saying, "Hey, such and such is a bully." I mean, you took it. You took it for what it's worth, and you either.
You either stood up for yourself
Correct.
or you corrected.
You didn't go around whispering such and such is bullying me back then.
No, I
mean-
got elbowed in the chest during
mean,
basketball practice, and they
I'm-
come down the floor. I elbowed him in the chest.
I mean, and if that's
He beat the dog crap
insensitive,
out of me.
then that's insensitive. Just let it be. But I mean, sure he was, and that is why he was reluctant to release these particular pieces that he released. And this came from his daughter. I read this today. Was because of the way he was going to be portrayed right in today's world.
Right.
Okay? And yes, it absolutely looks like a bully. But you know what? If it takes me being a bully to
win 6 championships.
be the baddest man on the dadgum planet, you know what? Call me a bully.
Go ahead.
And you think about some of those other guys that are on that team. Okay, let's see. If Steve Kerr never played for the Bulls, well, we know who Steve Kerr was.
Thank you. I think
He
got
played for like Phoenix and
Bless you.
Cleveland.
San
Coaching,
Antonio.
Spurs, wasn't it?
He played for Spurs.
did he
Only
win a
man to win 4 in a
champion-
row
He won a championship
in the modern
with him.
era.
That's right.
The next year.
But would we know about him?
Modern
About Steve Kerr?
You
Because
know,
he may not have.
Would he have gotten the Golden State job?
Probably not. Will we know who Bill Weddington is? Will we
No.
know who Scotty Burrell is?
Well, but it's like you're saying. I mean,
No.
and not
Still
not
don't
that
know
they were
Whittington.
not that they were Pippen level, but I mean Steve Kerr. I mean he come in and hit some 3-pointers at some amazing points in games, and
He
off the clutch,
absolutely
he
did.
rolled right off the bench, knocked out a couple threes, let his team take a break, and then went right back to the bench and started cheering again. So it's like
Exactly. But if him and Jordan hadn't had that thing, Jordan hadn't pushed him,
Boom.
would we have known who Jordan was? Or who Steve Kerr was?
Thank you. I'm with Travis. Without
that
drive, that push.
Without that, Steve Kerr might have got waived. He might have got traded.
what?
Just another faceless player.
Yeah. He could have been
Or
the
nameless,
he could have been the
I guess,
Rusty
nameless
LaRue,
player.
who played for the Bulls like in 97, 98. Nobody remembers.
Well, what was it Jordan said
Or
in
Is
that?
that Travis and
In that
Robert
instance,
Jig.
Jordan said that he was either going to push him or drag him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to say, I'm not arguing with what Boba said. I liked what Boba said, but I'm just going to say there's a fine line between bully and motivator. And certain people are only motivated certain ways. So I don't think I really don't believe he was a bully as much as I believe he was just driving his team. And certain people only respond certain ways. And that's something I've learned, Some people respond to the flowers and the butters and the kisses, and some people only respond when you're being a butthole.
That's true.
That's my daughter.
Lynn Bias, yep. Shoulda,
true.
coulda, woulda right there, George.
But I'm with you on everything you said.
No,
Bubba.
I don't disagree with anything you said, but I think when we were in school, there was only one way.
Oh yeah.
In other words, you didn't have to tiptoe around it to another direction.
Right.
You went about it one way. I mean, and if I'm wrong, tell me, but there was only one way to do it. And it was accepted. So there wasn't another way. I mean, do you agree with that?
Oh, well,
I'm with you on that 100%.
I would speculate that Magic, Bird, Reggie Miller, some of your other great players. We haven't seen these documentaries, but I'm probably pretty certain that they were on their teammates' butts just like he was.
I guarantee
Maybe not
Larry
to that
Bird.
level, but I guarantee you that they were pushing them and bullying or being rough with their teammates to get them to that next level.
You know why they were? Watch the Olympic practice.
Yep. Greatest game ever played.
Yeah, Magic and Michael going back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no way Larry Bird did not berate every single person in practice.
Is Larry Bird not as infamous as a prick as anybody?
He's the
Absolutely.
best trash talker anybody's ever seen.
Right.
You don't tell me Dr. J didn't get on Moses Malone back in the day?
Julius?
You know Julius got on. I guarantee you.
Julius.
My take on the Jordan. I just killed my fan. Jordan, you like I said, we heard about it, but what got me was when
Thank you, Jay.
they were questioning him about the tactics he used, and he started. He said, "You know what?" He said, "That's what I needed to do to get us to win, and I need you to be as competitive as me. And if you can't do that, then he said, I don't need you, or I don't need you there." Dude teared up, started crying. He goes, "All right, we're gonna take a break."
Yeah.
That's how. This is 20 some odd years later. He is still that passionate about talking about it. It teared him up, and he had this is Michael frickin' Jordan. He teared up and had to take a break from his own little show. That's some passion right there. 20 years after the fact.
Yep.
He's still like that. So my thing's like, man, did he go too far with some guys? Maybe, but he didn't know. He had to define his point. How far can I go with Scotty Burrell? Apparently, he still ain't reached it.
Well, like Bubba said, there's
I
one
think
way.
Scotty Burrell probably loves him though because of that.
Yep.
He loves him because he made him a better player.
Yeah, he loves
And
him.
Jay Dameron is exactly right.
Thank you.
I know you probably wanted to say
No,
that.
I already did. I said it quietly on the mic. It's
Okay.
it's on the voice there.
But he is completely correct. He says that the term bully these days is completely misused. And I would agree with that statement.
Yes,
Wholeheartedly.
It's tossed around. Well, he's a bully. He was mean to me. He was a bully.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And we're raising a generation of sissies. I'm sorry.
That's right.
What,
Well,
ahead.
what I was going to say,
Next
Travis
question.
and Deus, correct me if I'm wrong, teammate or not, if you feel berated by your teammate, I don't feel like you're going to perform for them. That's why I'm saying there's a fine line.
Yeah.
I don't think
They don't think you're going to perform for them. That was a lot of Jordan's thing is, if I'm not busting your rear end in practice, then when we go to New York and play an MSG and John Starks is bodying you up and beating you to death, you're going to be useless. So there's no sense in
me taking it easy on you at
taking it easy
practice.
at practice.
We got to do this.
We got to do this
100% all
because
the
if you can handle me, I'm going to give it to you more than he is. Because I know we could be friends later. You're going to roll. Let's go.
So that's my point. My point is his team played for him, and I'm saying if you were really truly a bully to your teammates, they're not going to play for you.
Right.
And that's where that respect thing comes in, and his teammates love him.
I thought this was pretty neat, and this may be on your list, and I don't mean to, but there's just
No,
so much to talk about.
Oh, I know. That's why we started early.
When they were getting beat up by the Pistons, and then they get in the gym, and they're like, "Hey, it's time," and they all start lifting weights and getting stronger and bigger and stuff. I thought that I was like, man, that what a mindset that is to be like. I'm tired of getting banged around. We're about to start being the givers.
It's
know,
adapting to your surroundings.
Because of the years. There wasn't. Did you guys ever hear anybody from the Chicago Bulls say, "Oh my gosh, we're getting bullied down there"? We're Did you ever hear them complaining about? I mean,
The only people that
they
complained
done something
Jordan
about
was
it.
like they was going.
They didn't
exactly
go
right.
whining to the referees.
the only
They
people that
didn't-
complained about it was the fans. Nope, coaches didn't, players
didn't
didn't, just the
hear-
fans.
Now we're gonna get in the gym and we're gonna start throwing them bows.
That's yes.
We're gonna set the
There's
hard
more
screen.
points
As
about
Luda
this.
said.
And this is just kind of adding on to my point. But
Luda.
back when I played baseball, I played for a coach I was scared to death of. You know why? I was scared to death to make a mistake. Name me somebody in today's generation, whether it's my kid, and I'm sorry, to keep from stepping on anybody's toes, I'll use my own kid as an example. Do you think my kid at 12 years old, 13, getting ready to be 14 this year, 14 years old, has ever been scared of a coach to make a mistake? The answer is no, because you can't treat them like that anymore. But you know what? It made me a better player. I was never good, but it made me a better player than what I was.
That's what it's about.
I
Improving.
didn't go complaining to Mama that he was too hard on me. My gosh.
Some of us got yelled at by our fathers while the coach was.
At the same time.
Some of us is saying, "Coach, treat them like they're your own. Beat them."
Don't worry, coach. I'll get him when he comes home too.
And some of us got hard at by the coach and Bull's dad.
Come on now, baby. You can do better than that.
And then the last year, he was still Bull's dad and the coach. That was fun.
So then you got yelled
Starter.
at by both personalities.
We know who pitched.
Yeah, pitcher and shortstop.
It dang sure wasn't him. It was me.
Yeah, I remember.
Because he was the only catcher on the team, so he
right,
got busy.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember one game. Come home and we were behind the woodshed blocking balls until dark.
Yeah.
And then we went in. And he was like, "Let's try not let that happen again."
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
sir.
idea, Dad.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes,
where
sir.
your head's at.
All right, another thing
Hello,
I found
Rich.
really fascinating with this was the things he would use to motivate him. This dude is making stuff up.
Oh, I loved it. The kid with the bullets.
Yes. He totally made that up just to torch him the next night.
And that's a story that's been out there since it happened.
I'd never heard it.
Okay, now which story was that? Elaborate.
LeBradford Smith, great college player out of Louisville.
Yeah, nice.
Comes in,
Mike.
yeah, scores 37 on them. They beat Bulls. As they're walking off the floor, supposedly, he comes up to him, post game, good game, Mike, like that. Well, they hop a plane. They're playing a back-to-backer. They go to Washington the next night. Well, Jordan puts up 36 in the first half, saying, because he was pissed off, because he said, good game, Mike, like, I got you.
He said, "I will put up what he put up in the first. I will put up
Yeah,
all the points he did in the first."
And that was literally
He
a
called it
story
before it happened, Bull.
that had been
Before
going
the game
around
started.
since the 90s. I'd heard that story a long time ago.
Was it the Isaiah Thomas story? Was that the one that he was? He come up to him and said something
Richie?
about, or was it Reggie? It was Reggie. It was Reggie Miller, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I was saying hi to Richie.
He come up
Richie.
to him and was like, "Oh, I thought this is Jordan. This is the guy that supposedly walks on water."
As a rookie.
And
Yeah,
then
as Reggie as a
Jordan
rookie.
comes back and's like, don't
Don't ever
mess
talk
with
to Black Jesus.
like
Yeah.
that again. Dude, that had me rolling. And then Reggie's like, from that point on, I didn't refer to him like on an interview anywhere. He was that black cat or Black Jesus.
Yeah.
It was never Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then later there was an interview and he's like, "Oh, that black cat." And I was like, he really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was great that he just would make stuff up. And then when they're playing Portland in the finals, now Clyde Drexler was a very good player.
Great player.
Great college player. Great NBA
Great
player.
NBA player.
Wasn't Jordan. People were talking about yeah, and then Jordan's like, no. I mean, he's like, well, Clyde's good, but I mean, he's not me. And then he 35 in the first half. I remember where I was watching. I was in Washington D.C.
I think most do.
I
On
actually,
that night.
yeah, I was in my hotel room. Nick Graham. We went on a field trip there, and I watched it, and we were just like, really 35 in the first half. It's like, pfft, gotta be kidding.
Well,
just because somebody
and-
said Clyde might be kind of as good as you.
But it helped because Magic was on the broadcast
Yeah,
team.
and then when he did
Yeah.
It was more Magic than it was Michael.
He kept looking at Magic.
Because you know what he told Magic the night before they're playing cards at Michael's house. He said, "I'm gonna light this dude up tomorrow." He lit dude up. Yeah, Kent. The story about Danny
That's right.
Ainge and they're playing golf. That was.
Was that not a great story?
Tell him that story, bub.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so his second year. I'm not going to go into that part because you might be talking about this later. So his second year, he got hurt in the third game of the season. He comes back at the end of the season, rallies his team just to make the playoffs, just to make the 8th seed.
With a losing record.
With a losing record. Plays the first team in that conference, which is the Boston Celtics, with a record of 67-15 that year. And the Bulls with a losing record. So, again, his second year playing. First game, Jordan puts up 49 against the Celtics, loses by 10, 15 points. Okay, you got an off day. All right. Off day, him and Danny Ainge play golf. Danny beats him up pretty good in golf. They go back to the hotel, and Danny said, and Dennis Johnson, who was known at that time as one of the best defenders in the NBA. DJ was guarding Jordan, okay, in game 2. And Jordan said, "Hey, Ainge, tell DJ I got something for him tomorrow night." And that's when he put up 63 in the Garden.
What was it?
Now, they
Bird
still
said.
lost, but Do what, Bull?
What was it Bird said? What was Bird's quote?
That wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And they swept them that series, too.
They did.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
did.
And Bird made that comment. That blew my mind.
It blew my mind, too.
Yeah, that was. And then when Karl Malone got the MVP in, was it 97?
Yes.
Yep.
And, well, you knew. Well, now we know. That's why Utah lost, because it pissed Jordan off. He's like, I mean, Carl's a good player. He had a good year.
MVP?
He didn't have a good year as me.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they, what, six games? They five or six
It was
games?
six.
Six.
It was 6.
And I was like, this guy, and that part can kind of teach you with sports, was you take the best player, one of the best athletes to ever live, how he can motivate himself, just find things to motivate himself. You can kind of put that in aspect of whatever area you work in. Just find something. Well, that guy over there sold more than me last month.
Yep.
Well,
There's nothing better. Even at the bank, we would have a meeting, and heck, they throw it up there on the screen. Here's the leaderboard, and
what's up, Trent?
you're always like, I can't believe Eli's ahead of me. He doesn't do jack. I'm catching him. And, whether it's moving, it's always motivation.
Yeah,
Did you notice how many times the documentary showed him reading the newspaper? Mm-hmm. What do you think that was for?
motivation.
Yep.
They just
Trying to find something that somebody said.
And if you couldn't
just
find
to
anything,
use his
he made it up.
He'd make it up.
it's just that.
And how
just,
do you make something up to yourself to motivate yourself? How am I going to make something up to motivate myself?
You know what I mean? I'm as competitive as the next guy. I would like to think that I'm just as competitive, if not more, than anybody in this room. But my point in saying that is, even as competitive as I am, I can't even comprehend that. In other words, that thought would never even go through my mind. Mm-mm. That's the level of competitiveness there that will never be seen again.
No.
You know what? I want to. So in our office, one of my clients for years, they had a leaderboard that was up, and they took it down because they felt that it unmotivated certain individuals.
That's ridiculous.
So it unmotivated. They felt like it did.
But as of this year, the leaderboard is now back up, and you are officially being shamed again for not hitting. And that was the word that was used. If you do not hit your marks, you will feel shame. So I mean, yeah. So kudos. So it's but it was going back to the statement you were making earlier about the word bully in the term, as well as not being looked down upon. Like you go in Eli's office, and I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a big board up there with a lot of frowny faces.
Eli, are you gonna?
No, because that's not true.
Well, no, not you have frowny faces, but frowny faces for other people.
I'm pretty much the MJ at my job.
And the owner told you so.
Yeah, that's right.
If you can't push them, you're going to drag them, huh, Eli?
That's right.
Push, pull, or drag them. Cash for cars.
We used to have a big thing that you got your name engraved in, and that was a goal. You wanted your name on that big. Yeah. It was a big piece of rock, like a tombstone, so to speak. But they built a podium for it and everything, and you wanted your name engraved in the rock. You wanted to be salesman of the month. I mean, that was the deal. Not only did you get a little bonus, but you got your name on the rock, which meant more than the, whatever that money was. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember my name's on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's a big deal.
You want eyes on you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
We all want recognition, whether we want to admit it or not.
Now, I've watched all this. Who was your favorite person they interviewed besides Michael?
Rodman.
1,000%.
Yeah,
Dennis Rodman.
That dude's something else.
This
man.
is going to be 100%, I think.
I do too.
It's so awesome to see somebody,
Jerry Reinsdorf.
how he completely changed from being the worm with the Pistons to the creature that is Dennis Rodman now, and how he's how
innocent he was.
How do you walk up to your coach and say, Skip, I need 48 hours. I got to go.
Yep.
And Skip go to the greatest player in the league and say, what do we do? You let him go.
I guess you get him 48.
He ain't coming back. We'll have to go get him. I mean, but to be that free-spirited, that doesn't give a...
You know what?
Now,
Yeah, Give a Damn was broke.
once he got
Split in half.
once he got on that 94-foot square, it was on.
Well, like when
He was going to battle
Yeah, he
every
was.
night, and he'd do whatever.
It was always
Took one.
110% on the court.
What
You'd
about him
only give
saying?
100.
What about him saying that Phil knew I was going to do what I was going to do,
Yeah,
and he knew
I'm
when
going and getting my 16 to 20. I'm getting somebody some extra shots.
he said, but he knew when I was on the court, I was there to play,
Yeah,
and he did. I mean,
gonna-
after he went and wrestled
He
and came back
absolutely
that
did.
following game, he was a madman.
I'm going to check
So-
the best offensive player if I have to, and
What was it you
Kent
said
Davis
earlier?
and Groovy say Madonna turned him out.
she did that to quite a few.
Yeah,
Carmen Electra.
Carmen was just a beneficiary.
never heard of him.
Travis, what was it you told me earlier about that infamous
Oh.
night?
All right, so y'all remember when Dennis went to be on Monday Nitro,
Yeah,
and of course, he missed practice, and this was during the finals, so they fined him $20,000 for missing practice. WCW paid him for that one appearance $250,000.
That was money well spent then.
So
absolutely.
they are interviewing people. They interview Ron Harper. They say, Ron, what do you think about
What do you think, Hart?
what do you think about Dennis taking off and missing practice and fining him $20,000? He said, well, seems to me he made $250. He said, so he came out on the good. So it seems to me he's a pretty damn good businessman.
Yeah,
Thank
No
you.
doubt.
That's all he said. That's in two. He's like, well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because Dennis showed up next night, probably had 4 points, 6 points, probably 28 rebounds, 20
I
rebounds.
think he had 20 plus that next night.
He come in and killed it the next night.
did
Like
kill it.
come in and killed it.
And what was funny is, like, if you go back and you watch, because how they jumped around, we'll talk about wrestling, no problem, George, is the day he left, when they said he was leaving, he had to sneak out the back. He had these red plaid pajama pants on. The next night on Nitro, he had on red plaid pajama pants on. Like, man, your butt is stinking in them things right now. What are you doing? It didn't give a care in the world.
No.
I've thought about doing that. We had stopped at the store earlier, and I noticed some pajama pants walking into the store, and I thought,
Did you?
I did. I thought to myself, when am I going to get to the point in my life where I just get off work, put pajama pants on, and be like, oh, I need to run to the store. I think I'll just wear my pajama pants.
When you become Dennis Rodman.
I may do that.
If the
just
pajama
started.
pants have pockets, they are to be worn in public.
I just went to the dollar
Well, that's-
store in mine the other day, so it's like
I know.
Well, there you
I
have
do
it.
not own pajamas nor pajama pants.
I got kick around sweatpants.
I
That's
call
it.
mine boxers.
What's up, big?
Button or no button.
No button for me. You never know when you got to go in the middle of the night. You
That's
don't be
right.
Fiddling with a button.
Yeah, I get to Rodman definitely. I think mine. We talked about it. Me and two talked about it yesterday and today. Rodman, his interviews on there were my favorite part though was when they're interviewing B.J. Armstrong. And they said, "B.J., was he a bully? Was he a jerk? Was he a butthole?" And B.J. just kind of stared off into space like, how am I going to answer this? Because he was. Because when they played him in the playoffs that year after B.J. left and went to Charlotte, B.J. had a good game.
Yeah.
And he's walking off the court and he goes, he's going to torch my butt tomorrow, and he did. He locked him up. I think B.J. had 2 points, and Jordan had like 40.
Was it Glenn Rice that said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about when he laughed at Gary Payton? He's watching the.
that was-
He's like,
that'll get,
One of my favorite
that'll
parts.
get to my.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with the glove. That's exactly what he
That's what he
did.
said. He
I
laughed.
had no
I
problem
like
with
all the
glove.
times they would hand him a tablet and let him watch something. Because the majority of them, he'd get a little smirk on his face. Now, there was a couple that was like a touching, but most of them, you'd see a little smirk or he'd laugh. Like, it was the first time that I I think when I was growing up watching Jordan, I really was impressed by the fact he never was really, to me, or maybe I overlooked it, he didn't seem to showboat. He may have been the best, and he may have made some shots, but it wasn't always victory dances, and I don't know. He didn't seem to showboat in that aspect.
He didn't showboat outwardly.
Thank you.
He done things on the court that the other players thought might be showboating, but you didn't see it on camera.
Well, and I can remember a bunch of like little smirks and that, and that little just I remember I remember seeing that all.
For me, getting to see him in his real kind of he's got some ego, but he deserves it. He's earned it.
What are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
No, and that's the thing. But nobody beat. I mean, they beat him in a game. They beat him in a battle. Nobody since 1991. Nobody has beaten him in a war. Okay, you say 95 when he came back. But he just came out from playing baseball. He wasn't in shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he'd have a full season under
and they
him.
still did really well when you really want to look it out. And you know what?
They really
Considering
did.
him coming back from baseball body, they really did well.
Hey yo, what's up, Bodinger? Yeah, it's nobody ever. I mean, he never lost a final. Never. That's not many people can say. Maybe Bill Russell. Maybe, did he lose a final?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think the Lakers beat them one time.
So he's
in the early 60s.
10-1.
I also enjoyed the cool. It looked like it was an old commercial, but the Mavs were moving to new updates.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it freaked Andrea out, and she was like, "What? What's going on?" Because she wasn't paying attention, and she heard it. She looked up, started laughing. She said,
that first Kenny Mayne one when it came on that first episode, it was like,
I like it when he said lit, and he's like, you guys don't even know what that is yet.
Yeah.
We're lit, fam.
So, what do you think about Phil Jackson? Do you think it tarnished him going to the Lakers? Do you think it hurt his reputation with Chicago at all?
nah.
Not at all.
I don't think it did either.
Didn't he win some with the Lakers?
5.
I thought so.
Yeah.
The word genius and Phil Jackson belongs in the same sentence.
How about that triangle?
I think genius belongs to Tex Winter.
Yeah, that was
Triangle.
It does, but it does for Phil Jackson.
But Phil is the...
He honed it, sharpened that wedge.
Yeah.
Real quick, Kevin Smith wants to know, does anybody on here think anybody is better? The GOAT. As far as the GOAT is concerned, in this room, we all in 100% agreement says Jordan.
Greatest basketball player to ever play
Yeah.
the game.
I know it's hard for you as a Magic guy when you was a kid. I know it's hard for you.
Yeah, but you got to give credit where
No,
credit's due.
I'm
I
just-
mean,
yeah.
Magic even said
It ain't
that
even close.
I know. And
So,
I was hesitant just for the
Dramatic
comments.
effect.
Dramatic effect.
all of the players that they talked to on this docuseries said he's the best player they ever played with.
It ain't even close.
it's not close.
You know,
And you saw the after show where they're and I don't even know why, but they're having the LeBron discussion, and they had people from 18 to 35 and 35 and older vote, and it was a landslide. And somebody made the comment that if he were playing in today's game, he'd probably average 45 to 50 points a game.
yeah.
Because there's
You know who
nobody
said it?
playing defense like they played then.
You know who said it?
I can't-
Current player John Wall from
Okay.
Kentucky.
There you go.
Because they're not playing like they used to play.
No.
I mean, how many of those scuffles you see no fouls were called?
Yep.
That's one of the things they talked about. It was
Though,
back then you could. What was the one? Which player was it? He was like
Reggie Miller checked him.
Thank you. I knew he was
Yeah.
going to come at me. I knew it was going to be Jordan on me, so I just shoved him so I could
he
get
gave
my
him.
shot
He
off.
just gently got him out of my way.
Gently got him out. He watched it and he was like, got it.
But just out of curiosity, I mean, like the players today, I mean, how many of your point guards were bench pressing 350 pounds? I mean, how many of your point guards back then were 6'3" and looked like they just come out of a Mr. Fitness award?
The only one close back then. The only one close back then was being that big was Magic.
I mean, like,
He wasn't as svelte.
No, he definitely was his felt, but
There's
he's 6'9",
there's only one recently, and I'm not, but Kobe Bryant is the only one that you can that in my mind, that
It's
you can
close.
say is close to what Jordan was. Whether it's
100% agree.
whether it's the competitiveness, whether it's the rings, whether it's scoring. Kobe doesn't have the MVPs because we'll leave that for what it is. But Kobe's the only one that
Is even in the
compares with
realm.
Jordan.
Could be in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I guess the conversation.
Kobe could have played in the 80s and 90s and taken that beating.
Agree.
They could both play today and light anybody up.
Dominate the league.
I'm
Agreed.
correct in saying they did play together, right?
They
played-
they overlapped about 4 years there.
And if I remember, at least somewhere in the docuseries, there was a small.
Yeah,
An
he's
all-star-
about to
an
show this
all-star
kid.
game.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
All-Star game. Who's this kid?
Well, but I get my point was is I thought we were talking about the physicality of the game, you know, and they let them play more back in those days.
Yes.
But these days, I mean, every single athlete is built like Shaq, and they're just as aggressive as Kemp or Rodman. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the players, the athletes and all that, they weren't, even though, you know, like you said, the Bulls were in the gym and they weren't going to get beat down in the paint. I mean, they still weren't taking the beatings like the physical ability that these new athletes have.
But the new athletes aren't giving any beatings.
They're not. They don't
It's
play that
not
hard.
physical. It's wide open. There's,
Well, is it because they
there's-
can't?
regulated.
Because they would hurt each other so bad? I mean,
No,
like,
well, a
you
lot
got
of it is-
football players. You
lo-
got strong safeties.
A lot of it is the game. The game's more wide open. They do call hand checks now. They call these little ticky tack fouls, but it's
Now that's a
it's
effing foul.
it's a 1-on-1 league now. There's a lot of isolation plays.
Yep.
Back then, there wasn't a lot of. There was 1 or 2 isolation plays a half, maybe. You come down to the end of the half, first or second, you'll isolate. You know, Jordan with the ball, Pippen with the ball, whatever. Then you go through.
Well, here's how the game's changed. I think this is right. In those 2 or 3 years when Curry was just throwing in threes at a record pace,
So
he made more threes, and I can't remember if it's that 2 or 3 year span, than Larry Bird, who is known for being a really good shooter, took in his career. So the game has changed. I mean, you look at the James Harden, who's probably the premier scorer in the league right now. He goes to the free throw line 12, 13 times a game as a guard. Not as Shaquille O'Neal or
Even
paint
Karl
player.
Malone went to the line a lot.
Karl Malone, you know, but
Karl
as a
Malone.
guard going to the line that much, that just how many more opportunities Jordan when he scores 37 in 85 or 86 a game. He definitely could have get in that mid 40 range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bull, when the Pistons fouled Jordan and the Bulls in the early 90s, those fouls today would not just be technical fouls.
Ejection.
They would be
fines.
ejections and suspensions.
But how many of those fouls from back then would turn into broken sternums, broken jawbones? Because, I mean,
You're not able to do it, so that's kind of a.
Yeah.
it's a no.
You can
It's
do
a
it.
moot point.
You do it one time, you're probably missing half the year. You're getting Ron Artested.
You're saying these guys are bigger and stronger today than they were then. They're
They
bigger,
may be bigger and
but
stronger,
they can't do any
like
of the
that.
stuff that they got away
did
with
like
back
that. And
then,
they
so
won't.
it doesn't matter.
and they're not going to.
Well, I
Even
guess-
if they could.
Well, and I guess that was my point. Is like, do you think that if the game was as physical as it was back then, today with the
I would still watch.
because there'd be a lot more injuries. Do we not agree?
No, because
No.
the
You don't
guy
think they
you're
would?
because
guy
the guy
that you're
you're
going
hitting
against is now
the
tougher.
same size as you. I mean, it's the same.
It's
That
not
is-
like the
okay,
big guys
Because
Yeah.
are
one
beating the
guy's
little
big,
guy.
the other guy's just as big and as strong and as physical. They just don't allow that play to happen anymore because you got flops a lot that and they're oh gosh, don't hurt me.
And I can't necessarily blame the player for that. I
I
blame
get
the
it.
NBA for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand you got to protect your paycheck and your livelihood, and I get all that.
But,
But these other players did it for years.
Once again, go back to Scotty making $1.8 million.
And
He
to
getting
pieces.
beat to death. I mean, it's a business decision now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's. I think I told this to Bubba last night when we were sitting at Prater's.
You did.
It's just like a receiver going across the middle. hey, am I going to stretch out there and take his hit, or I'm going to let this one drop and not
Going to the
That's
next
right.
play.
Right. Everything's a business decision
Yeah.
because they're making
Too much money.
way a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Smith says Rodman would have shut down LeBron.
He would have frustrated LeBron James so much he wouldn't have to shut him down. LeBron would have shut down.
Can you imagine the tears that
That's
James
a good
Harden
point, Chad.
Early retirement.
James Harden would have lost his mind if Rodman had guarded him, because James Harden gets pretty frustrated and he gets upset at the
Yeah, if you
strict guarding on him. He don't
Let
like
Scottie
it.
Pippen guard him.
But it had been done.
Same way.
But hey, I know we're gonna laugh at the glove. But put the glove on James Harden.
I put the
Isn't
glove.
that
I put
what-
the glove on
Isn't that
anybody.
what Garden's
Except-
supposed to be?
I put him on
Yeah.
23 too.
They don't like it. They want that
He
wide. They
didn't
want
have
that
no
wide
problem with the
open.
glove.
That was
I laughed
hilarious.
when Jordan said that. I had no problem with the glove, and I also laughed. It was towards one of these last couple episodes, or it may be in the last 3, but it was something. And he was like, they were talking about Shaq. He's like, I ain't Shaq. I ain't Shaq.
Yeah,
And I was like, you're smaller and but you're right. You ain't Shaq, so it don't matter. And I don't know. I just thought it was good to see some ego. I liked it.
You're right, Chad Ottinger. That's all I'm going to say. You're right.
What do you say? My stuff's freezing up.
Oh, Sean Kemp.
Oh,
2 words. Sean.
now Sean could dunk. His shooting ability wasn't that great.
correct.
Look, there's lots of other great.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say
We're not
there are
saying
lots
that.
of other in this era that we're talking about right now. In the docuseries, people that they talk to, there are great, phenomenal athletes.
That's my one
You still ain't Jordan.
thing that I did not like, or that
Could have been improved upon.
is, once again, 22 years later, Michael Jordan still has a hard time saying that other people were really, 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 really good basketball players. He has a hard time. Just like him laughing about Peyton. Peyton's a great basketball player. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. It's okay to say, yeah, he's a really good player, but I got him. That's the one thing that I have a little bit of trouble with Jordan, is that he still has that mentality of it's me and then everybody else.
Well, he
But
made
he-
it,
but
he
it
made it
is.
very clear.
He proved.
He
In my
hated
opinion,
Isaiah Thomas, but Michael Jordan rated Isaiah Thomas as the second best point guard of all time, behind Magic Johnson. And Jordan's words were, "I hate him, but I've got to give him credit. He, in my opinion, he's the second best point guard of all time."
Well,
that was
he's not
Jordan's
wrong.
words. In episode 4, he said that's what he said.
Where you going now?
No, my point was he backed up what he was saying, though. And like I was saying earlier, wouldn't it be nice to be that good that you could have that ego and be that cocky or arrogant? Because you can. I mean, he proved that it was
backed it
him
up.
and everybody else.
Well,
In my
but
opinion.
22 years later, it's okay not to.
I
like
feel
I
like
said,
he said several times, Chad. Well, yeah, he's a good ball player, but like you just said, he did.
But he
ain't
did
me.
minimalize it.
He-
Because he
yes.
can, but he still acknowledged there are other
But
good
is
ball
that your
players
point, that he just kind of
bro,
minimalized
they're
it?
not.
he minimalizes.
because they're not him
Everybody.
in comparison.
Yeah, and
Now,
that.
we can't minimalize them the way he can, but he can do that.
Well, damn it! Shut up.
I don't disagree with what Chad said, but and I wasn't trying to disagree with him. He did make it clear about Isaiah. Now, can I name another one? Probably not, okay?
Fair enough.
Everybody's
okay?
corona free since '93.
Boy,
All
I
right.
tell you what.
George Manikowski Jr., who said, "Who you got? Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Bird, Chamberlain, Kobe." Jordan,
For what? What are we doing?
GOAT, I guess.
I mean, depends
Where
on
it
what
is.
we're doing. I may take Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Depends on what we're doing.
Which episode are we on?
Carmen.
Carmen Electra.
Have to do just a show on Carmen, just to appease Bull now, I think.
Did y'all know she was in this documentary?
I ain't seen it.
Tell us more, Bull.
Oh my God! So anyway,
All right. Turn his mic off over there.
More producing.
A little less talking, bull.
Chad, Anthony Hardaway did have a He was a good shot. Got hurt a little too often, though.
What about when Reggie Miller saying, we had the better team? And he started naming off that team, and he was right.
You forgot.
Jalen Rose. It was Jalen Rose.
Oh, it was Jalen Rose that said it. He was exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that team on paper, Chris Mullen.
I'd forgotten Chris Mullen was on that Patriots team.
Mullen.
Player.
Mark Jackson.
Rick Schmitz.
Smith.
The Duncan Dutchman.
Yeah.
I love
that.
that.
Anthony and
Antonio and Dale.
Dale Davis.
Uh-huh.
Of course,
Jalen-
Reggie.
Jalen. Wow.
That team on paper is legit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until Jalen brought it up during the documentary of how good, because I watched that entire series.
I can remember, and I'm not a basketball guy, but I remember those series. I remember
That one was tough, boy.
Man.
And they only went to 7 games twice. Is that right?
Yep.
Is that what it said?
Yep.
Yeah. The first one was in the first win of the
first
first three-peat,
and
and then the last one in the conference finals.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Another little fact about Anthony Hardaway, Jordan actually wore a pair of his shoes
Yeah.
in a game.
Penny Hardaway, baby. He's awesome,
I
baby.
had some pennies.
L-
He's a
LP,
dog for
Lil
dandy,
Penny.
baby.
Ask him what he's doing out in Memphis right now. Go
Coaching
Big
high school
Orange.
basketball. Oh,
I
goes
didn't
to
realize-
Memphis.
Memphis
I
High
didn't realize
School,
as
yeah.
a Ute, but
Memphis High School
I kind of
Tigers.
after watching these episodes, I don't
Tim
think I
Henson,
like
Drew's
Ewing.
dad, met him.
You don't like
at the
Patrick
state
Aloysius
tournament.
Ewing?
I mean, I had his kicks, dog. I had the Ewings, and
They still make those, by the way.
he's kind of a baby.
Patrick?
He was kind of a baby.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like Ewan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
was,
don't mean I great ball player, but I just feel like he might have been a little bit of a baby.
he
He had that Eddie Munster.
He did.
He sure did.
What's wrong with the Eddie Munster?
Jordan put him out of the playoffs more than anybody. Saw that one.
Yeah.
Had something. Oh yeah, Travis Sheffield made a post about a bunch of people have been posting about this. I mean, people that I didn't realize were basketball fans. They were talking about the series and stuff. What'd you get real quick?
Chad.
Ottinger.
Yeah, the Admiral. I mean, we hadn't even mentioned him.
Oh yeah,
He's got great shoes.
he was a great ball player.
He was.
hell of a submarine.
I was going to say he was excellent in the Navy.
His son was a great receiver for the Irish.
I don't even, and look, I've got a lot of respect for David Robinson. It's just one person's opinion for what it's worth, but Tim Duncan's better than David Robinson.
Oh God, I hate Tim Duncan. Man, I never liked Tim Duncan.
I remember when the duo come amidst, and they were talking about they were going to take over the world.
The Twin Towers.
I mean,
What'd you call him, Tim Robinson?
we all use
Thank you, yeah,
we all
Mrs.
use
Robinson.
the rings to compare.
Yeah. I'm glad Robinson got a couple though. I am glad of that.
He just seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
All the way.
Well, he was. I did a book report on him. I read his autobiography.
Cliff
I
Notes
really
or no?
liked
I read
David
a
Robinson
biography
until
on him
his
for
son
real.
went to do
Learned
it.
about.
Yeah,
He got out of the Navy because he grew
No,
too
I
tall.
didn't care for that particular.
There's a
To be
height
on a
restriction
submarine.
to be on the submarines and the hatches, and he was too tall. But they wanted him in the Navy because he played basketball for the Navy.
That's
So they did some tricks and stuff. But anyway, I really enjoyed also Horace Grant. I was always a Horace Grant fan when I was a kid.
I was
liked
more of
the
a Harvey
goggles.
Grant.
I'm
I
sorry.
like what he said about Detroit
Twin.
His
Yes.
twin brother Harvey.
that we won't repeat.
Well, we won't, but I'm just saying I enjoyed it. That's part of why I just really enjoyed seeing him and seeing him now. He looks like he could be playing right now.
He looks like he'd be fun to hang out and drink a beer with.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet he
Yeah.
is a lot
Just
of fun.
the way he was sitting back, his face is kind of chubby, but he had this regular shirt on. Like, man, I bet this dude would just
He's cool.
kill a
man.
12-pack with you right now.
He's cool.
MJ was a white can man.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
That's right, Groovy.
That's when they had the old
Mad respect.
baseball style Miller Lite cans. Had
The
had
the
pinstripes
pinstripes.
and
Like
the
that
dial.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that right yonder. Good call, Tooth.
Him and Pip would have a little pop after
On
a
the
game.
training table.
On the training table.
But Travis Sheffield, he made a post about it. Like I said, there were a bunch of people posting about it that I didn't realize would watch it. You know what I mean? That just, like we're saying, if you were alive around our ages at that time, you knew who Jordan were, who the Bulls were. What's up, Chad? But Travis made a post. LeBron, to him, was the GOAT for the 2000s. his man in the 90s was AI, was Allen Iverson, the answer. Practice? Neek in the 80s. He think he got cheated in the '88 slam dunk contest.
100%.
As do I, because I was a Neek guy when I was a young children.
You don't have to be a neat guy to know that he got cheated.
He got cheated because those were some dunks right there.
Yeah.
And if you've not seen that, go back.
Are we talking about Dominic Wilkinson?
Dominic Wilkins. Go back and watch the '88 slam dunk contest in Chicago. He was robbed. That's why because they were in Chicago. Now, Jordan, it was probably the best slam dunk contest I've ever watched. But after watching The Last Dance, he said without a shadow of a doubt, Jordan is the GOAT, 100%. And this is Travis is the same age we are, so he saw what we saw with all the players, and he went from Neek to Iverson to LeBron, and now he goes back and watches this. He's like, "Where?" To me, Travis is saying, "What?
How did I miss that?
What? Yeah, exactly. What was I thinking?"
I was blinded
Because
by the
he was probably a lot like me. I was not a Jordan fan in the 90s.
Right.
I hated Dale Earnhardt.
Same reason I can understand why people are not Peyton Manning fans. It's
Tom
like,
Brady.
Tom Brady
well, not
fans.
even Tom Brady, but because anytime you turned the TV on, you saw a Nike commercial, you saw a Gatorade commercial. Everything led on SportsCenter with Michael Jordan.
Right.
I was a Pippen fan because I was like, hell, Michael didn't win nothing without Pippen.
That was my grandma. My grandma's favorite player.
But a lot of it, too, was because I was a Magic dude, and he took the mantle away from him, being the best player in the league, and I didn't like it.
Pippen just looks like he's got a sneeze, but he can't quite get it out.
Yeah.
You heard that today, didn't you? You read that today,
I heard
didn't you?
that too.
Yes. You read that or heard that today? Because
Pippen reminds me of Shock G.
Does look like Shock G, don't
He
he?
looks like Shock G. All he
he
needs
looks
is
a little bit like
Humpty
Humpty.
Yeah.
That's Shock G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
same
sorry.
guy.
Okay.
Oh, man.
He's the one that put the
They
satin in the
resemble.
panties. Yeah, you remember?
I saw somebody on here mention something about Barkley.
Yeah.
All I've got to say about that is, sometimes I dream that he is me. I just want to be like Mike.
Sean,
The Jan Felice.
yes. Give me your starting five of our generation. Can you do it off the spot?
Well, Big Sean, I'm a little older than you are, but Magic, Michael. Are we starting a center? Do we have to start a true center?
True center.
2 guards, 2 forwards in the center.
Yep.
Forward, I'm taking Karl Malone.
Come on.
I'm taking
Karl Malone.
I'm taking Legend. And I'm going to flip a coin whether I take old Kareem, still traipsing up and down the floor, or if I'm taking Shaq.
Oh, I'd take Shaq. I
That's a
think.
good one.
I just want that. I like goggles, so I may have to take the goggles.
Eli, can you do it? Starting five of our generation? 96, 97, 98 Bulls?
I'd have to say it'd be pretty similar to that. I don't know who.
I'm not smart enough to know who plays what position. I'm just being honest.
My guards would be the same for sure. You said Larry. And who? Who was your other forward?
Malone.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, Louisiana
Karl
Tech.
Malone.
That's
No, I
You
can't.
can go
It's pretty
bunch
tough,
of forwards. You can start throwing Worthy in there. Depends on what kind of offense you want to run.
Yeah, triangle. What about you, Bubs?
I want Iverson, Jordan, Bird. No, then I threw out Magic. So Magic would be better than Iverson. So at the guards, I'd have to do Magic, Jordan, Bird, Kareem, and I'm on the fence on this other forward here.
Can't do it.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm hesitant to throw
Said
Tim
Bird,
Duncan at
so-
the forward.
I want Stockton on my team.
see if I could throw
or throw a Pippen.
if I could throw Tim Duncan there.
I'd throw
Tim
him.
Duncan, in my opinion, is better than
I'd throw him
Scottie
out.
Pippen.
Throw him out.
Travis, what's yours? 'Cause
I'm going
I want
Stockton because I want a facilitator. Stockton, Jordan, Neek.
Neek got no love, did he?
Nick almost got love.
If Jordan had never been Jordan, Neek would have been Jordan. He's always number 2 in the scoring title.
But I needed a shooter. That's why I had to go legend.
You know, I mean, and
Center, I'm gonna go the Admiral with center because he's got a soft touch. He can block. Duke can block shots, and then I'm probably gonna put Rodman at the other forward. Just
I was just going to say there's an argument to be made because you need a
changing my
defensive
center.
player.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Dream Shake.
Oh,
Going
didn't
Olajuwon.
think about Olajuwon
Olajuwon.
because that dude could score and rebound and block shots.
I'm
Well,
going Dream
cool,
Shake.
Admiral.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
If I slam a jammer.
Carney, he says Iverson, Jordan, Bird, Magic, Shaq, Magic playing point forward.
I like that.
Forward.
That's the way to come in there,
You know
Carney.
what was
I like
funny?
that.
But he could play that.
Yeah. I mean, he played center as a
But I'm older than Carney, and Carney
Nobody-
can't relate
I
to
didn't know that.
Nobody
Kareem
put
as much.
LeBron.
in Game 7 against the...
Nobody put McGrady. That was odd. LeBron's our generation. We're still here.
Well, and again, you guys, I mean, when it comes
See, but that's-
to, go ahead.
It's
Coach.
biased.
go ahead.
It's biased because it's when
you read
really
the question,
watched.
when you read the question, I hear the question is in what would we make ours from our generation as in the generation we're in today.
Yeah.
But when you answered it, it was the generation that we are discussing and that we grew up loving and
Yeah,
whatever.
And,
So,
and when,
It's
when-
subjective.
And when you say it, it's,
so let's answer both. If I had to answer for the same question today with players today, then, you know what I'm saying? You guys go.
but if you ask,
I couldn't answer that question. Today's players because I
you
don't
know,
know.
how much NBA do you watch? Bubba,
10, 15 a
Negative.
year.
Well,
Eli,
0,
anybody?
maybe 1.
How much did you watch in the 80s and 90s?
Oh, every night.
There you go. That's why
Yeah.
that roster's 80, 90s. We know who the players are today,
Yeah.
but how do you? And we're probably all thinking, coach-wise, how do you fit them into an offense?
Yeah. Kevin Smith says Magic, Jordan, Pippen, Robin, Russell. Kevin, you ain't that old. You're younger than I am. Bill Russell,
I
way
was
older.
going to say, dude must be old
That's
if
Brian
you put
Russell.
Russell in there.
Brian
Brian
Russell. Yeah, because that way Jordan don't have to face him to
That's
smoke
right.
his butt.
Yeah. Push off.
Yeah. Man, dude, Jordan went off.
but
Push
I can
off.
say
When you show,
I think Bird's hard
when
to
that
I
play.
can
showed
say
in slow
I know
motion.
some
You
good
got
players
another
of today.
shooter.
I know
That's
I know
right.
whether or not
In my
I
roster-
like him or what. LeBron's good, Curry's good, Harden's good. What's the? I just went blank on the name. He's light, real light.
Klay Thompson.
I'm just saying I can name some guys, and I don't watch NBA at all. And I can name some good players from our generation right now, like the generation of today.
No, Jimmy, we're not putting Spud Webb on the list. Sorry, buddy.
Man, Spud Webb was a good ball player, though. Little guy, he could ball.
He could still dunk contest too from Dominique.
Dominique, his own teammate.
Yeah.
Well, and again,
Crap.
you know,
Muggsy Bogues.
Manute Bowl.
Can't everybody put Bird in their starting 5?
I did not.
You didn't.
I
do
did.
not like Larry Bird. I never have liked Larry Bird. Never
Chad
will
and I
like
were just
Larry
having a little side note about that.
We're having a
about
sidebar.
Having that shooter.
oh yeah, I mean,
My roster needs legend because I got to have a shooter.
Absolutely.
And my six man off the bench has to come in and take Magic's spot to be a shooter.
I feel like with us talking about Stockton that we got that covered because I feel like, as you said, he's a facilitator and he can take the shots. He can take the shots outside. He can take the shots in. I'm just saying.
I'd probably let Joe. I'd probably let
Scott Skiles.
Gritty Gutty still has the record though in a single game.
He does.
of assist.
He does.
Mianowski was a big NBA Jam guy,
Oh, yeah?
so you know him and Shaq teamed up.
Yeah.
Nobody had Chuck in there,
No. So I think
who I think is one of the most. He's probably he was my favorite player.
round mound to rebound.
I loved him
He was great.
because he was chubby,
He was chubby,
and I was chubby.
and he got stuff
Or
done. I like
husky, as
he
my
got
pants
stuff
said.
done. You know what I mean? He's like a Robin that could score.
He was great.
Kobe been a great six man on that team that everybody just named. Ken, I agree.
He'd be
Nobody
my-
said Kobe.
he'd
yeah,
be-
but I'm
he'd-
trying not to
he'd
say
be-
Kobe
He'd be
'cause
my
he's
7.
passed.
Yeah.
Because 6, I'd probably take Reggie Miller just for a shooter.
But I hate to I never liked Kobe when he came out. I didn't care for him. I hated it. He passed away. Terrible. I never cared for him because a lot of people were comparing him to Jordan, and I attached myself to Jordan and Neek so much. I don't want anybody to compare anybody to either one. It's easy. Nobody's going to compare anybody to Neek because
I felt like
Kent's
Kobe
right because
was a ball hog and tried to showboat.
I personally think Kobe Bryant is the second best player of all time. So how can I not put him in my starting 5?
Oh, it's
But
easy.
you said our
But you can't-
generation.
but-
I mean, I can still.
Because you're
It
going
would
to
still be-
positions and you're going to take Jordan
Right.
or Kobe.
Yeah, it's a subjective list, and that's what it's supposed to be. But it's always fun to do that.
Take the point for you. Jordan might have been able to.
I like the dream
Is
team.
Kobe a guard or a small
I like the
forward?
dream team section. We
See,
got to
and
talk about the
there-
Olympic
there's
team.
your difference there too, because today's game is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mean,
as far as size and
If
stuff like
Kobe's
that.
a small forward, bam,
Well, that's where you go. What
put
Chad
him
was
in there
saying.
for me.
What kind of offense is running? Who's the coach? That's where you.
We
gotta-
getting up and down the floor? We going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we running and gunning, or are we setting her
I
up?
may go
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
Daggum. All right.
You go ahead.
Anything we missed? Did you? What's your final thoughts, Chad, on this docuseries, miniseries, documentary?
And Chad, get up on the mic so that way we can hear you a little better.
Sorry, Bull.
All good.
Cat.
I was glad that Carmen Electra was involved.
She was in this documentary.
But as Eli said earlier, I mean, not Sunday night, but last Sunday, I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and Camille was in the bedroom. She had been in there reading, doing something, and I hit mute because I heard the TV. She's in the bedroom watching it.
Aha.
You know, I'm like, that. It brought a lot of people together. I was glad they moved it up from June to now with the Corona because it was somewhat of live sports.
Yeah. And
But,
the ratings. Have y'all seen that the ratings are?
I bet they're
I-
redonkulous.
It's pretty good.
I enjoyed the Scott Van Pelt Sports Centers that came on after it.
Me too.
You know, they did the Bad Beats series. They did all that. It was
Tooth
it was
looks a
great.
lot
It
like
was
SVP.
he does look like SVP a little bit. It was a great series. I don't know that there's a whole lot you could do different except for I was expecting going in that it was going to be all 97, 98, not from
His whole career.
1982 all the way through. I did enjoy the breakups of having the Rodman series, having the Pippen, having the Bulls, talking about, or the Pistons, talking about the three. So it was well done. It was well done.
Extremely well done.
Extremely well done.
Eli,
That guy ought to win some Emmys or some Oscars.
I
don't know
both.
if it's a.
I think it is, in my opinion, it's probably the best docuseries I've seen.
here.
And you made mention of that the other day, but I was like, yes, absolutely, because Camille's watching it. My 15-year-old, she hates
Camille's
us
watching right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Is she?
But she sits on the couch and watches it
Well,
with
hold
us.
on, just real quick. If Camille's watching, that's probably Keller and Brady. They were begging for a shout out tonight. They're down on the beach and they're tuning in.
What up, boys?
At Normandy?
Hello,
No,
boys.
no, down
Down
low
south?
L.A.
Oh, GS.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I
Lower Arkansas.
Lower Arkansas.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
Shout out Keller and Brady.
What's up,
Now
Keller
you're
and
saying
Brady?
that Emma came because she hates y'all right now, and she is involved watching.
Yeah, I mean,
watching the
you
show
know,
with you.
the family wanted to watch the show because they got roped in. Episode 1 and 2, they were like, "Oh, Dad, I don't want to watch this." I was like, "Sit down and watch it. I think you'll like it." And she had friends over, and her friends and her sat there and watched it, and they're like, and they get drawn in. I think that's how it speaks volumes to how well this thing was made and put together. Like I said, my only issue, I didn't like the bouncing around because there were a lot of questions being asked from over here.
Right.
Which is fine, and I'm okay with that. But it was so well made that I think it's a show that any family could sit and watch that has any inkling of an enjoyment for sports.
Yeah.
I think it's something that the whole family could get together and watch.
I agree. Bull.
Y'all,
Carmen Electra.
Shout out to Carmen Electra for taking the time.
And
you know.
Dennis in Rumors back in the day.
Attaboy George.
Yeah, just well done, Carmen. Well done. She done an amazing job.
Her wardrobe
She was just phenomenal.
assistant was
trophy.
awesome.
Oh man, she was phenomenal. Her hair looked great. You know, I mean, the lighting was perfect, flawless. Well done, Carmen. Well done.
Why do you?
And now back to producing.
Yes. Tooth, from now on, you sit over there. We're going to show the button to push to turn his mic off.
Well, I know it. I see it, but I mean,
Yeah, there's a pair of scissors. Cut the cord.
cut it out.
That's right.
That boy Coulier.
I thought it was excellent. I was really excited. These are 5 Sundays. I could not wait for each Sunday to come by. I was very excited to watch them. It helped me relive some youth time. You know, look, guys, in '92 I was 10, so I was really young throughout some of this series. You guys are a little bit older now, so I got to see the relive the baseball thing and some things that I had forgotten about his gambling and how much I knew that he loved golf, but I didn't realize he's always loved golf. Like from the beginning of him playing in the NBA, he's been
From
golfing.
college. He was playing in college.
I had no idea that he's been playing golf that
First
long.
started
So I thought
playing
that was
golf.
Awesome.
Because Davis Love III was at North Carolina at the same time. Davis Love III got him into playing golf.
What about that?
There you go. See, there's some knowledge.
How athletic is that guy that he can do anything?
Us golfers are pretty damn athletic.
I meant Michael Jordan, not you.
Bubba got to see that athleticism Saturday.
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tooth.
No,
I
you're good.
went
Y'all
off on
are
a,
good.
I went
I'm
off on a
just-
tangent.
He
I'm
shoots
just-
out.
I can't golf, so I'll go ahead and just go ahead and give you guys the floor on that. I'm very impressed by anybody who can make contact on a drive. That's awesome because I
Keep
can't
your
do
head
it.
down. Yeah, you can.
It took me 12 strokes the first time I tried, and I was in my 20s.
Man, I was like 14 and took like golf.
I'm good at
golf,
short game.
Golf.
Yeah, golf.
Huh? But
Different
I really
strokes for
enjoyed the
different
series.
folks.
Couldn't wait. Kim watched it with me. I've got it recorded. I think the kids would probably enjoy seeing it. It was really good to see different perspectives from his teammates and ex-teammates and to see him talk, in the playing with him and then getting traded, and I don't know, it was just really cool, man. And it definitely solidified for me, and you guys have all heard me say it, but it solidified that he's definitely the GOAT. There's no doubt. Has never been doubt for me, but there's no doubt.
No doubt.
No diggity.
As much
Before we
as
get to Bubba, Brock Lois is very good. He'd like to see them do the same for Tiger, Tyson, Brady, Peyton Manning, and Hulkster. They're actually making a movie about Hulk Hogan, and the Thor's going to play him.
Have you guys seen
Chris
all those new
Hemsworth?
30 for 30s that are coming
Josh
out?
said right there. I saw
yeah,
his Jordan.
Lance Armstrong,
The
two-parter.
B Water. Bruce
Lee.
That one's
I
going to
may
be
have
awesome.
slobbered him.
Yeah.
The Lance Armstrong one's going to be awesome. There was another one. I saw 3. The B Water, Lance Armstrong. There was a third one.
There was a little clip on it Sunday night
Hey,
talking
what's
about
up,
the
Garth?
Lance Armstrong. They're all talking about, well, is either like start doping or leave type thing. So it'll be it sounds like it's going to dive into some controversial subjects.
Those are going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I would love to see all of them.
Bubba, what was your final thoughts on The Last Dance, sir?
I don't think that we will see one any better than this. I think the ratings will prove this. One more thing I'm going to say about my all-time favorite sports player is Jalen Rose has been known not to really care for Jordan, all right? They get along, but Jalen Rose has said some stuff that I didn't always agree with, that I thought he was hating on. Anyway, say all that to say this. Yesterday morning, he made a very good point that I hadn't really heard, and this is what he said. He said, in Jordan's second year, when he got hurt in the third game of the season and broke his foot, any player in today's era would have melted in. All right? You're out for the year. You're out for the year. Okay? Jordan fought. They said it in the documentary. Went back to North Carolina, worked out, played pickup games. Didn't tell the Bulls. And what does he do? He comes back and, they make the playoffs like I said earlier. Any player in today's era would have melted in. Now, this is not my opinion. This is what Jalen Rose said yesterday. He said any player in today's era would have melted in. There's no way they would have come back from that injury.
And that goes back to my comment. It's a business decision now.
Yeah.
You're making $25 million a year as a second-string power forward. Yeah,
And
I ain't playing either.
And that's what separates people who want to be Michael Jordan from Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, there's a request.
Give Brady another shout out.
Brady, we gave you a shout-out. If you didn't hear us, Brady Moore, the offspring of the Sean Moore.
Sean Moore. Huh?
And Little Britches Sawyer Moore is probably hanging around with them, too. So there you go. Got all of you.
Little britches.
And one last thing is, they said in episode 1 how that it was very clear to see 2 weeks into drafting him as a rookie that he was the best player on the team. So there's never been a question, even before this documentary.
Travis, before you say, Bubba talking about when he was drafted, he played on that Olympic team, and they were talking about, well, the Rockets were taking Olajuwon. Trailblazers took Sam Bowie, and Bobby Knight said he told them all, Jordan's the best player, take him. Well, we don't need a guard, we need a center. We'll play his ass at center because he's the best player ever.
Boom.
Strong
That's
words from a
Bobby
great
Knight,
coach. From Robert Montgomery.
Thank you.
Was the guy that said after the Dream Team, he's like, whoever got him, you guys did not make a mistake. Like that was
Yep. And
mistake.
like they also said in episode 1, and I'll end with this, they call a timeout in the fourth, going into the third quarter. No, it wasn't a timeout. It was the break in between the third and fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're down 10 points, and Jordan gets this vibe that they've lost. All 4 of the others are giving in. Well, we've lost this game. Where's our next game? And Jordan's like, hey, guys, we ain't lost yet. And that was back when, I can't even pronounce his name, Kevin Laverty
Yeah, Lardy.
was the coach. Gave him the ball at the end of the game to see what happened. Now, this is as a rookie. Down 10 points in the fourth quarter against Milwaukee, who is their rival, if you will. That's their Yankees-Red Sox, if you will.
When Milwaukee was still relevant.
And they come back and win the game,
Buck stopped.
and he earned all their respect. So that's it for me.
Well, he's definitely the GOAT.
What say you?
What was the ridiculous number of points he scored in like 90 seconds? He come at the end of a night, like the last 90 seconds of a game. He come in and scored like 19 or 22.
Oh, yeah,
points.
when he was limited to
Yeah,
seven.
yeah, it was on the minute count or whatever. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't have done that on NBA
I
Jam.
think it
Probably
was-
could have. That was
I
really
think
good
it was
that
I
game.
couldn't do that on a
22
Nerf hoop by
22
myself.
points in 90 seconds. But we didn't talk.
Oh, no, not in 90 seconds. No. It was...
It was like 3 or 4 minutes, something like that.
There was something in one of these last episodes that was talking about him coming in for 90 seconds and scoring, and it was either 19 or 20. It was a ridiculous amount.
Absurd.
We didn't really discuss, and I know you got to go, but we didn't discuss. I had always believed it was the flu game, and this is alluding to it being some food poisoning, and I can totally believe that. You're in their hometown, you're ordering pizza. They're going to kind of maybe get the advantage on you. What do y'all? What say you on the food poisoning?
I'd heard scuttlebutt about
My
that
child can't spell.
back in the day. Well, he's your kid. You should give him a lot, Father. Give him a
Luke, I am your father.
shout outs. Yeah, I heard scuttlebutt about it being food poisoning. Of course, that was back then. Of course, there was the internet. We didn't have it. I mean, it was here, but we didn't have it here. And Al Gore hadn't done it for Tennessee yet. So you heard about it, but I always thought it was a flu because they still refer to it as the flu game. So, but yeah, now that it's food poisoning, he had the diarrhea.
Well, now that he even said, look, man, I had food poisoning.
He was vomiting.
He was vomiting and had diarrhea. Hey, bub. Hit me.
Played a phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
there was some hiccups in the beginning, but come back to just play a phenomenal game.
Now I just realized, guys, on this shirt, very unflattering on me, but this shirt is from when I was in 8th grade. So it's
It
a little,
looks great on you.
it's a little tight. And I'm having to lean back. Got some neck issues, so I have to lean back, so my gut's sticking out when I'm leaning back. So
I'm
it's,
fixing to order
And he
one of
hates his
those.
food
You know you
touching.
can still get them.
you can. They're
finna order
they're on eBay. My final thoughts on it. I shared it in the group text. This was the best, hands down. I've watched a lot of documentaries on, mainly biographical documentaries.
Biographical.
Yeah. No, you ever notice none of us can talk worth of crap tonight? Have y'all noticed that?
I've been doing a
I
pretty good
have.
job.
No, you messed up a couple times.
3,
It's fine.
4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
He got Sawyer too, Keller.
But it was the
Bridges.
best docuseries I've ever watched in my entire life. I thought The Eagles was. The Eagles, that is a phenomenal documentary. It's about 3.5, 4 hours long. I've watched it seriously 9 times. There is no doubt I'm going to watch this one more than 9 times. It was well done. That, like we keep saying, the back and forth thing kind of was confusing. Just putting.
But if you pay attention,
Yeah, absolutely. But it's reason why, I guess, for us, because we're trying to go back in that moment in time and put it in chronological order for us, and that's been 20 some odd years ago. I think that's what's confusing for me, is I'm trying to piece it together. Okay, yeah, that was when I was in this grade and blah blah blah. I try to go by his shoes. I'm like, all right, those are the
those are 8th grade.
those are the 6s. Those are the 7s. So the 6s he wore when they beat the Lakers. The 7s they beat the Suns, and I tried to do it that way, and even then I got myself confused.
Carney brought off the Jordan 5 golf shoes.
Yeah,
what era was
They
it?
were sweet.
Those were great. I saw them Saturday.
I really thought Bubba was going to. We can't talk about it.
Look, I
Maybe,
slobbered.
He's gonna get
he
dizzy.
might have gone Carmen Electra.
Bull, I slobbered a little after I saw him.
Here's a cyber.
Barney's right.
George, cyber Miller Lite to you, buddy.
Cheers.
I got the Jordan 1s on tonight.
Oh, yes, you do.
Ones.
It's his last time at the Garden.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what game was it where he wore the?
Were the ones that was like his last game in the Garden. He dropped 50 some odd
His
His
points.
feet were killing him. He said.
Bleeding.
Bleeding. Foots were bleeding.
But
Feet.
How did he play in them when he was younger and not have bleeding feet?
he was younger.
Because they were brand
And he was
new.
used to them.
Yeah. He wore brand new
He said
pair
they
of
had
shoes every
no
Wasn't that
soul
weird?
to them.
Yeah,
they
no
were-
arch support or no cushioning. 'Cause these, I've got those on. These are not comfortable at all. They're not comfortable.
Like we were talking about the other day, when you get a little older, functionality
Functionality
becomes a little more important
Yeah,
than style.
I'll wear these 2 days a week. That's all. I never wear them except for out here
Probably
doing the
why your
podcast.
neck's messed up.
Could be.
You get you
On
some
that
hope.
co-
You
on
get
that
you
co-
some hocus,
Man, I
some
got-
orthopedics here. You wouldn't have them problems.
I got the Dwayne Rock Johnsons. They're
Good
good.
roll in them.
Yeah, and I'm heavy.
But I think it was well done. Like y'all said, he's going to win
Big boned.
Oscars, Emmys, you name it. It's going to win it. That documentary's going to be floating around for all times now, and people that's never heard of him are going to watch it and go, "Oh my God, who is this Michael Jordan guy?"
The only one I compare it to is, and I still think it's the best, but you have to be a baseball guy, is the Ken Burns baseball documentary.
Yeah.
I mean that's,
Yeah,
but wives and children aren't going to watch that with you. This one they did.
Right.
Tooth makes a very good point. The Bob Uecker Baseball Life is probably one of the best documentaries I've seen as well.
I've not seen
I've
that.
not seen that one.
It's incredible.
What's up, Nathan?
It is incredible.
The Bo and the Dion one's really good. But this one
True.
takes the cake. It I like how it showed Michael's.
He's real.
Yeah, he is real. Like I said, the hanging out with the security detail and
Pitching quarters.
Gus.
and we
Gus.
didn't even go to the baseball stuff of how good a baseball player that he was going to be, according to Terry
Could have
Francona.
been.
And
And
he,
Reinsdorf said the same thing.
yeah, and he bought them.
a bus.
He bought him a bus because he was too tall to fit on the regular bus.
They weren't riding the yellow dog.
Yeah.
He went and got him a Greyhound.
And they said he had the best time hanging with the players after the games and after practices because
Being one of the guys.
because they treated him like he was a scrub AA player.
Like he was a
Because-
rookie.
Yep, and he loved it, and that showed the real Jordan. I enjoyed it. For one, it threw back. I got to see all the shoes. I got to see not just his shoes, everybody, because that was to me the best time in basketball shoes was in that era they played. Just
Oh, no doubt.
loved it.
Converses with Jordan or Magic and Bernard King, and
Yeah, that was a good commercial.
He was going.
Yeah,
he
it
was
was.
going with the grandmamas. Is where Travis was going. When you said Converse, Travis was like, "Well, hey, I had those.
Hey, I'm bidding on some right now. There, old jams. I got them dialed up. son.
Grandmama.
Grandmama's. But yeah, man, it was a great documentary. If you guys have not seen it, go watch it right now. Right now, we'll come over and watch it with you.
I won't. That's not true.
No, I'm going to bed.
I won't do that.
No, actually, I'm gonna do some iRacing, then I'll go to bed. But guys, man, seriously, best documentary of all times. I give it that award. Chad, thanks for being here, man.
It's always my pleasure.
I'm glad we put the sports one off until now, till it was over, so we can talk about this.
Yep.
In
I'm
its
sure
entirety.
this will probably come up in future regular podcasts and sports podcasts, just because that's how epic this documentary was.
It should
So,
be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate you being here, Eli Kidder.
We didn't even mention the Vols' recruiting success.
Well, that's because we were talking about The Last Dance.
Well, that makes sense then, I guess.
Yeah, next show. You're booking the sports shows now.
Oh.
So
I did not know that.
You get extra
Yeah.
pay.
I told you a week ago.
He did tell you. I was here.
Straight to your face.
Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention.
Clearly.
Yeah, we have made that obvious.
that's two that said he did right to your face.
Straight to
I'll
my
say it to
face.
your face.
What was it? Roman what?
Times
New
New Roman.
Roman.
Bull.
12
You-
font.
Carmen Electra.
Oh man, she was great. Did y'all know she is in ESPN's documentary that just come out?
The
Hey,
Last
yo.
Dance?
The Last Dance. She made an appearance and she was amazing.
She was amazing.
Okay, back to producer.
Heard she kissed a trophy, bull.
And ate a cupcake.
I don't know, but we've all come to the conclusion she was naked.
We came to that conclusion 45 minutes ago. You just now came to it.
I was
Well.
included on it.
I like.
Watch the episode.
Sometimes I like to think on
There's a
things.
conclusion going on over
There
there.
is. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you do.
Yes, sir.
Let's get ready to set my racing back up for me.
Yes, sir.
Tooth,
Yes, Travis, thank you for having me.
thank you for letting me have you.
As, that sounds weird, but you're welcome. As
All right.
per usual.
I like a thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for being here. See you Thursday.
I'll be
Bubs, thank you for being here, containing yourself, talking about your all-time favorite athlete ever.
Thank you, Thee.
I know.
Thank you.
I know how close you keep Jordan to you.
Well, I tried not to. Tried not to take too much of the mic tonight.
Yeah. You're
So it
fidgeting.
ain't about me.
You're fidgeting over there.
He
what
could
I
talk.
do.
He could talk for days.
I like to
I
hear
could.
Bubba talk.
Oh no, yeah, I've drank with Bubba a lot and talked about Jordan at length. So we share this knowledge.
Probably learned
It
a
was
lot.
great, brother.
I did.
Appreciate
And
it.
you know how iconic it is? We got the Carolina blue right next to the Jordan red.
Yeah,
Right on.
that's right. So we dressed
That
up.
was
for
by
What
this.
kind of
Design.
shoes do you have on?
I have on my North Carolina. This might need to be seen on camera. I have the North Carolina Nikes.
That's right.
Where's my logo there?
Right there.
There we go. There we go.
Man puts his outfit together.
Jordan ones. Not comfortable.
I'm barefooted.
By the way, that's gross.
Yeah, he hates that. Travis hates feet almost as much as he does his food touching.
God dang,
And Carol Baskin. Golly, get out
That
of my
woman is
head.
obsessed with me. Guys, appreciate y'all watching, man. Letting us ramble on about this documentary. One of our favorite players of all time. Even for those that aren't basketball fans anymore, that was definitely one of our favorite basketball eras, and somebody's only basketball era he actually paid attention to. But he still remembers it. And
That was me.
yeah, that's Eli.
And me.
And
Man, Derek.
Yeah, I don't know nothing. I mean, I know absolutely zilch about modern day basketball.
you can name players he can't.
I can't. I know more about college basketball, and that's because of old friends than
Yeah.
I do NBA. But back then, I'm with Eli. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah. So thanks for letting us talk about this. You guys go check that documentary out as soon as possible.
And be sure and
Like and share.
And share.
well done, Travis.
And if you don't think, and if your opinion is that Michael Jordan's not the best of all time, your opinion is wrong.
And you're unchristian.
Thank you.
Wrong. So, guys, Thursday we got the owner of Lynchburg Cigar Company coming on for episode 151. So we'll see you guys Thursday. Appreciate it, guys.
I holla.